Yeah.
All right, we are live, everyone. Welcome to the live well here this Tuesday night here at Fish, North Georgia. We are so glad you guys could join us. And if you're watching at a later date, we love you as well. Got a great guest tonight. Barron Adams of Blue Ridge, Georgia, an NPFL angler is in the house, and this will be his first time on the show. So we're looking forward to introducing you guys that don't know of him, don't know much about him, to all of you. And we're going to talk pre-spawn bass fishing and the NPFL 2025 season and kind of get his thoughts on everything. He's been in the NPFL for 3 years now, right? I said that
This
right.
will be my third.
This will be his third year. So right there, you see him, and I'll put it back on there. He's a good looking fella. He's also fit too. I ain't gonna mess with him. I got two fit guys beside me that work out and everything. So make sure your pre-spawn questions and everything, bring them up, and we will get you that information. I told him we'll try to squeeze him for all he can. Got Alex working the board. So if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. Give it a thumbs up. Click that notification bell. All the stuff you guys know you're supposed to do. And follow Fish North Georgia on all our social media. Now, let's do the business right now. You ready to do the business? Let's do the business. All right, we got Sonar Pros, the official sonar installer of the live well, 770-530-4505. Trent and the guys down there. Hey, it's where the pros take their boats. We talk about it every episode. If you want it done, you might as well get it done right the first time. And Trent and the guys, hey, listen. They do an outstanding job. I heard they had a great time at their winter seminar the other day, and we just appreciate their support. Give them a call, 770-530-4505. And then you got Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing, 678-459-8419. Kevin at lipstickerfishing.com. Check out his Patreon, patreon.com/lipstickerfishing. Everybody is talking about the new Patreon that he does where he goes live on the water, and you guys are seeing in real time exactly what he's doing. And he teaches you a little bit right there, Alex.
Yes, sir.
You like it right there. So give him a call. Check out his Patreon. We appreciate Kevin and the guy. I was going to say Kevin and the, I'm so used to saying Kevin and the guys. We appreciate Kevin over at Lipsticker. And you got the best rod sleeve on the market, Evolve Fishing. It is absolutely the best. It's got all the, what do you want to say, bells and whistles? Floats.
It's everything you could want and more in the rod sleeve for sure.
100%.
It floats. It's tough. The hook thing still is insane too.
It is. You will not, when you throw these things in a rod locker, you're not going to have just this tangled mess like the Chinese finger savers. You got something on that?
I have shoved a hook through with a pair of pliers, and it still pulled right out.
It does pull right out.
Yep.
It does pull right out, and it doesn't leave this big gaping hole or anything like that.
And everybody I've showed that freaks out. They're like,
No, it
like
is.
They don't believe it.
It is the best out there. So we appreciate them. Check them out at evolvefishing.com, or we got them here at Fish North Georgia. And then the Money Saver Lure Retriever. With all the money we spend on these expensive baits, and who knows what the economy is going to do, they might get even more expensive. You need the best plug knocker on the market. That is the Money Saver Lure Retriever. I use it. Guys that are using it now, they absolutely love it. Got them here at Fish North Georgia. Check them out. Then you got Bill Payne, the living legend. Bill Payne Guide Service, 706-280-2305, Lake Allatoona. spotted bass specialist over there. He does sonar trips to get your sonar dialed in, and he will do smallmouth trips seasonally. He is the legend. He's forgotten more today, I guess he forgot more today than I've ever known. That's about the way I like to say it. And he is the sweetest human being on the planet. So if you want to fish Allatoona and get to know what the spotted bass are doing over there, check out Bill Payne and go fishing with him today. And then we got the up-and-comer on Lake Lanier, Brooks Anderson with Brooks Anderson Fishing. He tailors his guide service to everyone, but loves the high school and college anglers, trying to get them on their path to their career in fishing. If you want to know what the spotted bass are doing on Lake Lanier, and you want to know why they're there and how to catch them, Brooks Anderson Fishing is definitely top notch, one of the best out there. And check out his YouTube, brooksandersonfishing.com. Always does some great video work. And then behind me on the wide side, of course, we got our friends at Turner Tires, 706-253-3339 in Jasper, Georgia. Wheels and Alignment, great family-owned business. It's where I get my tires. I highly suggest Brock and the guys over there with Turner Tire. So, and with all our sponsors, let them know you heard about it on the live well. It helps us out, and we just want to support our sponsors and definitely encourage you to do as well. So let's see, in the comments section, there's Stephen W., Silver Punk, Troy Mims, Daniel Deadweiler. There you go. I like that. Jerry Couture, all you guys, Mike Geiger, and there was some up above it. Anyway, guys, bring your questions. I want to give a shout out to Cody Campbell, though. Go all the way up to the top. Got a buzzbait bite this afternoon, caught a 412. Spring's going to be good. Well, I'm glad you caught some fish. I assume that's going to be on Hartwell. So let us know where you caught it. But anyway, again, pre-spawn questions. What we're going to do to start the show off, we're going to talk to Barron a little bit, kind of introduce you guys to him, get him kind of warmed up a little bit, and hopefully he hasn't got any of the nerves or anything like that some of the guests get, and we get right into the stuff. So, Barron, number one, appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
I love the fact that you're a Georgia boy, and Blue Ridge, it's not that far up. So you've lived in Blue Ridge your entire life?
Yeah, born and raised, been here as long as I've been alive. So
yeah, and you were talking with us before. You fish like Blue Ridge and Chattooga, Notley, and all
Burton,
those.
Lanier. Grew up on Chickamauga, fished it my whole entire life too. So just a lot of these North Georgia, Lower Tennessee, Southeast Tennessee lakes. Been through all of them pretty much.
Sure, I love it. And so you guys, he ought to be able to give you guys some juice right there. So let me go ahead and jump on Geiger's question. Oh, Cody Campbell's down by your follow. He's a South boy. Hell, no wonder you caught one on a buzzbait down there. Anybody have any luck on Lanier the last couple of days? If you have, let us know.
Yeah.
I got a tournament there Saturday. So if you got any juice you can help me out with, definitely let me know, because it's been fishing tough. Now, you fished it.
No, I haven't fished in a week, but yeah.
But you're probably the most recent one here.
I guess.
It was tough.
Yeah, it was real tough.
We
got 5 bites and 3 of them are in the first 5 minutes. So
crazy.
Yeah.
It's not being the normal Lanier. So, but anyway, you keep the questions coming back to Barron. Now, you I know you from fishing the NPFL.
Yes, sir.
But you actually got your start earlier. So how did you get your start in professional fishing?
So I got my start in professional fishing in 2020.
Right.
2019, I fished the Toyotas, which is not, or Costas then, now it's the Toyotas,
right.
So qualified for the FLW. That was the year that MLF bought out FLW. Mm-hmm. So I fished 3 seasons with the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals. And then after that, made the switch over to the NPFL.
Yeah. How do you like the NPFL?
I love the NPFL, man. It's a real good family atmosphere.
Right.
The guys are great. Big Al, Brad, Sean. They're all super good guys. I mean, you can call them anytime you need something.
Yeah.
And, they'll do whatever they can to help you or find somebody to help you,
Right.
I mean, it's just a good family. Just like today, I called Sean because I know Sean's in the pool business. And we got a house we're building up in Blue Ridge and got a customer maybe possibly on the pool. Sean answered my call. A lot of times in these tournament series that you fish, they're too big to talk to everybody.
Right,
but
yeah.
Sean answered the phone, called me back, told me a good contact to build a pool. So, I mean, it's just a good group, good atmosphere. I mean, and for the amount of people they have on hand,
yeah,
never a better run tournament.
I like that. That's what I hear.
You pull up in the mornings, you know, with 120 boats in a tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and you sit in your truck for 5 minutes at the most, and they park your truck. So all we got to do is back our truck into place, get the boat, they'll launch you and park your truck. They do that for every angler, every single tournament.
Really?
I mean, it's amazing how they do it with like 6 or 7 guys.
Does Big Al get off his ass and actually do any of
Big
that?
Al does, if you can believe it.
I like Big Al. And, you know, what you just said is absolutely correct as far as being able to talk to them and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I got their numbers. I feel like I can
Yeah.
call them at any time. And I don't
Yeah.
even have to talk about fishing.
No, you don't have to talk about fishing. Like, if I needed something from Brad right now, Brad lives in Ohio. I guarantee you that he'd find a way to help me if he could.
Yeah.
You know, and me 12 hours away from him.
Oh, yeah. I love it. One of the things that got me drawn to the NPFL was, to me, it was always like, I started calling it like the working class
It is.
league, because everybody, for the most part, has a job.
Mm-hmm.
And granted, they're able with their jobs to afford to fish it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's relatable.
It's very relatable. And me, I got a full-time job. I don't fish for a living. You know, I have to work, and it's really the best series that a working man can fish. you
Yeah.
know?
And I think that's why people like it.
It is.
I think that's why people like it. So Jonah is, well, first, Mike Geiger was down. Let me get him first. Was down there yesterday and caught one fish all day long, about a 3-pounder, and talked to a few other people. And I know they didn't catch anything ditch fishing, or so didn't catch anything. So it's like that. It's like that right now. We're going to try to figure it out, hopefully before Saturday. And now pull up old Jonah down there, the very next comment. Hope all is well. I caught 3 spots on Allatoona on Sunday with the jig you tied me. Well, there you go. There you go. What color was that I tied you? Was it the Lanier Smoke or the PB&J? Just let me know like that. But good for you to get out on the water. And I like that kid. So they started high school fishing, him and his partner, and they really had a Lanier Smoke. There you go. Didn't have no confidence, just getting started. And they come in here, just talking with them, and finally they got going, and they're getting to be pretty good anglers out there.
That's
so
awesome.
I love it. So appreciate that compliment, Jonah, and keep throwing it. I'm telling you, that Lanier Smoke will catch fish. All right, Barron.
Yes, sir.
Let's just get the elephant out of the room. Do you like the change with the no forward-facing sonar, or does it just not make a difference to you?
You know, I was going to fish either way. So
Right.
really, at the end of the day, it did not matter to me. You know, I love catching fish on forward-facing sonar, but I also love just fishing. You know, out of every check that I've cashed in the past 2 years of the NPFL, I cannot say that I cashed a check because of forward-facing sonar, but I use it. You know? So, you know, Saginaw being, just for instance, Saginaw, I top 10 the last 2 years. You know, it's smallmouth. You need forward-facing sonar. I utilized it in practice a lot to find my fish, but it was so rough during the tournament, I really couldn't use my forward-facing sonar. But, you know, I knew where those fish lived.
Right.
And I could get a glimpse of them every once in a while. But to say that I caught all my fish on forward-facing sonar, no, I did not. So, you know, either way, I was fishing. It was no issue for me either way.
Right.
But, you know, I agree with the league. I would have supported them either way. So, you know, we'll see. I mean, also in the back of my mind this year, I think it's going to be nice to go fishing and not have to constantly think, should I be out there looking?
Yeah.
You know, should I be in the middle of the pocket instead of fishing the way I grew up fishing? You know,
Right.
so I grew up my whole life structure fishing. I was fortunate to have a grandfather that took me 4 or 5 days a week, if at all possible, my entire life since the time I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
You know, and he before we had graphs could tell you the bottom of the lake like the back of his hand. Like he knew where every single brush pile in Lake Burton, Chateau, Notley, Blue Ridge, he knew where every one of those was. So I grew up fishing that way. So, you know, I'm excited about it, really. You know, I think it's going to be fun not to have to worry about some guy out scoping in the middle of the pocket, or should I pick up a minnow, or should I be throwing a jerkbait or what? You know, I'm just going to go back and fish this year and just have fun with it, you know.
I like that answer. Stephen Doubly, is the crankbait even worth it now? I would say this. I haven't heard many people talking about catching fish on a crankbait recently.
But a crankbait's always worth it.
Okay, so let's get your take on it there, Barron. Tell us about the crankbait right now. What would you be doing?
This time of year, that's all I do, period. Is I'm cranking.
Oh, well, hell, you got the right person to answer the question,
Yeah,
Stephen.
so, I mean, right now, this time of year, yes, a crankbait's worth it, in my opinion. Crankbait, jerkbait, that's my two go-to things, but I'm cranking from daylight till 10 or 11 o'clock
Okay,
every morning, no matter how cold it is, no matter what the temperature of the water is. I'm going to be cranking in the mud.
In the mud?
In the mud.
In the mud. Okay, so explain that, because a lot of people, like when we get to Lanier and we talk crankbaits, they're talking about throwing them off of rocky points and stuff like that. But
yeah,
you
I mean,
said the mud. I'm curious.
I do like fishing rocks too, but, and I don't know if I should really tell all this, but, you know, spots and herring at night will get in the shallowest water they can get. So a spot will feed until the sun gets up high,
Right.
shallow. And to me, that muddy secondary point with a little bit of rock on it is what I key in on this time of year.
Okay, what kind of crankbaits are you throwing?
DT6
so you
or a lipless. You know, lipless is always good. Spro, can't go wrong with Spro lipless.
I like that. Now that's a little bit different than what people have been telling us. When we talk crankbaits here, though, again, Lanier being the engine that runs the ship around here, rock. That's what everybody says.
Yeah,
you be the first one. It's like,
and I'll go to Lanier and not fish rock. I mean, I'll key in on that transition area. Not saying I'm not fishing rock,
right?
But I'm looking for where that rock and mud meet, more on the lines of than I am just a rocky, bluffy point or something like that. I like the transition, so I like to look down the bank and see mud, little rock, mud. Like, it narrows it down for you.
I like it. That's a great answer right there. So, evening, how are the Phantom fishing rods? Is that a South Carolina thing?
Phantom is a apparel company. I'm not really familiar with the Phantom fishing rods.
Okay, just because you said Phantom fishing, so I guess he saw that shirt. Okay, I was like, what are we even talking about?
So this Phantom right here is an apparel company. They do shirts, hats. They carry all your top name stuff, AFCO, all that stuff. But it's he does have a tackle store. He sells tackle and sells guns and everything, but it's an apparel store instead of a rod. It's not the rod Phantom.
There you go. So you're welcome, Stephen W. And listen, any of those questions, guys, you just keep throwing them. It makes my job a lot easier when you guys are throwing out questions. Did you see somebody say hello to you? Tyler Ward fishing.
Tyler Ward, yeah.
Yeah, Cletus. Cletus right there. Any tips for pre-spawn in standing timber?
Honestly, I'm not a big standing timber guy. I know on Lanier that's where you get your teeth kicked in.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know they set up in that standing timber over that 50, 60 foot deep, but I'm not the guy to talk that.
I got it. Yeah,
that's not me.
How do you describe yourself as an angler? You a power guy?
I'm a power fisherman.
Yeah,
100%. Even if I'm throwing a shaky head in the summertime, I'm throwing it on a 5/8 ounce head usually.
Really?
Power fishing that thing, you know, like if I'm throwing it in brush, I'm hopping it through the brush. I'm trying to get hung, jerking it loose. You know, I'm not a drop shot guy. I'm not really a minnow guy.
Right.
I'm a shaky head, football jig, cranking, power fishing, topwater guy.
Oh, Alex back there shaking his head. I guess he approves. He approves of that. All right. So, in your mind, in these North Georgia lakes, when does your mind start thinking pre-spawn?
So,
is it length of days or water temp or anything?
Me, the more when you have 2 or 3 warm days like this week, like today would probably been phenomenal. I had to work. Like I was so mad.
So
I told my wife. I
thought about laying out too. I was like, God.
So I told my wife yesterday. I was like, look, tomorrow's the best day of the year to fish. Yeah. And I couldn't because I had stuff to do, had to work, and
that work.
Yeah, but like you get 1 or 2 days of warm, sunny weather. I mean, I don't care what the water temperature is; those fish are going to want to get up under something and get floating and sunning. You know, so I mean,
right.
As far as a time you could say where pre-spawn starts, I would say it more depends on the sun being high and the water, and the temperature of the air warming up more than I do water, because I know the water's still cold.
Yeah.
We're probably still in the upper 40s, low 50s, maybe by today, the end of
Maybe.
today.
Yeah. I think
But-
I heard 48 on Lanier yesterday.
But they're coming. Like I was at Santee this past weekend, spent 3 days down there. Water 50 to 57. They're like every fish I caught was in 2 foot or less. You know what I mean? They're coming.
That's shallow.
Yeah, they're coming.
So when I fished 2 weeks ago out of Baldridge, we had 41, 42. And then I had a guy tell me this week it was 48. And that was early. Well, that was this weekend. So I imagine it's probably the bad thing about Georgia is, it's going to be warm through the weekend, and then it's going right back down in the tank the week after.
So our pre-spawn could last from now till May, really,
Yeah.
depending on our weather.
Yeah.
Because we might have 70 today and 35 tomorrow, and just like next week, it's going to be cold again.
Yeah.
So they're saying. Hopefully it changes a little, but
just stay warm through Saturday. I just need to warm through Saturday, and the hell with it for another till my next tournament like that. Derek says 49 in lots of places today. Let's see. Go on up to our next question. I think it is Tyler Ward. And if I miss your question, guys, you know how it works here. Throw it back down there, and I will try to get to it. At what point during late winter do you start to leave ditches and drains as a primary pattern to look at other areas? Now, given that you're a power guy, do you really ditch fish any?
Not. I don't sit in the ditch and fish, but I want to fish where ditch is going. So
You're way up in there.
Right. What I mean by that is if like my home lake, pretty much Chateau. So even though I don't like to sit out in the ditch and throw the underspins and all that stuff that I know catches them, I want to fish the upper end of that ditch. So I want to fish shallow, but I want it to be where they can get deep pretty easily.
Yeah, good transition.
I'm not looking to go 3 miles back in the creek where it's 5 foot deep for the last mile of it,
Right.
I want to fish where they can get out of that shallow to deep quick, Like I want to be around a ditch, but not really in the ditch.
In the ditch.
That makes sense.
I got you. David Weaver. Do you use the buzz bait, and what color?
I do not throw a buzz bait. It's probably I hate a buzz bait more than any bait that's made.
Really?
Right.
Why is that?
Like I went to last year when we went to Missouri. I knew what to catch them on out there. I stayed with the guy that won. He's my roommate, and he told me the whole tournament what to throw. And I won't throw it. I don't.
Tell me you don't throw a whopper plopper.
Don't throw a whopper.
Okay, good. You're all right in my book. As long as you don't throw that damn whopper plopper like that. Who did you room with last year?
Nick Brown.
Nick Brown. Okay.
Nick and Jesse Wise, and Nick won when we were in Missouri.
Yeah. Who are you rooming with this year?
Same 2 guys.
Same 2 guys?
Yeah.
We need to get all 3 of you guys on here at the same time.
Yeah, we could set something up like at a tournament and do it one evening after practice.
Yeah, we can do that. That would be good. Cool. Steven says, you sound like me. I like to power fish too. ChatterBait coming up. Do you think color matters?
Yes, 100%. I think
on just a ChatterBait?
ChatterBait, yes. I like white right now.
Yeah.
Water gets warm. I know a lot of guys won't throw a ChatterBait when it warms up, but I throw it year round religiously. And I'm big on green pumpkin, black and blue when it gets warm.
Try to mimic brim a little bit.
Right. But now, this time of year, they're feeding on shad mostly.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing something white from late fall to May, spawn time. Then I'm changing.
Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. If you're throwing a ChatterBait right now, you still doing it like you're talking about shallow?
Mm-hmm.
Any particular structure? You hitting docks or what?
Yeah, I mean, shade lines on docks. ChatterBait's awesome. And of course, you always want grass with ChatterBait,
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You can't beat that, or wood.
Yeah.
But usually grass.
What's your favorite brand of ChatterBait?
The Z-Man.
The Z-Man? You throw a regular one, or you throwing the?
No, I'm throwing.
Jackhammer.
Jackhammer, yeah.
Yeah.
Jackhammer.
Do you like a lighter one this time of year since the water's so cold?
Or? This depends on how shallow. Like when I was at Santee this week, I was throwing a 3/8, but usually I'm a 1/2 ounce person.
Gotcha.
But 3/8 is easier to keep through the grass,
For sure.
I like that.
Cool.
King of Bass. This is Emily and Chloe. Happy birthday, Grandma
Rutolo?
Rutolo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
So there you go. Well, happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. So let's see. Todd Abbott. Hey, Todd. Marked 45 Sunday in Thompson Creek, I believe. He said T Creeks. I believe that's what he's talking about. It's Thompson right there. There's my buddy, Far Dog from Oklahoma. Glad you guys are here tonight. Let's see. Keep on down.
It's where my wife's from.
Oklahoma?
Mm-hmm. Tulsa.
Tulsa, Oklahoma. There you go. I like it. How'd you meet up with her?
Fishing.
Was it in Georgia or was it in Oklahoma?
She was actually no, I was at the championship for the Tackle Warehouse Invitationals the first year I qualified.
Right.
And she was actually the tournament director for MLF. That's how we met.
Dude, there you go. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good story.
It's different.
It
That's
is
cool.
different. That,
I like it.
he's dating the tournament director.
Yeah.
I like that. So, let's see. Silver Punk. Is it too early to start using red crawl colors?
Heck no.
No, I mean, that's been going on
No,
for a while now.
I throw them things pretty much year round.
Oh, Lord, we're getting a little bit. So, okay, so you're throwing the red year round.
Yeah, pretty much. I like red.
You don't
When
you
it's
don't change
cracking.
the shad patterns or anything like that? Or
If shad spawn, that's about it.
that's about it. So you're
Mhm.
throwing a reddish, orangish colored crankbait
Mhm.
year round.
Yeah.
That is different. That's the
Cool.
first right there. I like it. Far Dog. What's your favorite shad? I think it's a spad shad.
Spad Sean.
Hey, Far Dog, you've been drinking. What's your favorite shad spawn bait? And what's your favorite popper lure made? So do you throw a popper? Let's start there. Do you throw any kind of popper?
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw a popper some. I like the Lucky Craft popper, the small old school one.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was. The Kelly Johnson one. I can't remember the
Don't
name of
ask
that
me
thing.
the
It's
names
old
of
school.
baits,
Like,
but yeah.
I don't even know if they make it anymore, but
Yeah.
that to me is one of the best ones made.
Yeah.
Shad spawn lure, I love the Ruku shad.
Okay.
And cellmate. I mean,
Yeah.
it works.
You can
always.
That cellmate color. There's something about that.
Mhm. Shad spawn is the best color there is. in my
Cellmate by Spro.
Yeah.
Yeah. By Spro. I like that. So Geiger's heading to Florida Thursday to fish a big bass tournament on Harris Chain Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There you go, dog. That's our North Carolina buddy.
Cool.
Not the Michael Geiger that takes my money from in the electric only tournaments right there. So Far Dog says that ChatterBait Mini Max is some juice. Now, hey, do you throw that? I had a guy come in. I ordered a customer one that I swear was like an 1/8 ounce or three. I mean, it was light. And I didn't even know Z-Man made them that small.
I know some guys that throw that thing, the really, really light one,
Yeah.
and they're catching them on.
Yeah.
They're catching big spots at Lanier and places too.
What places?
I don't know where those places are, but I know they catch them on.
Yeah, I got you right there. Mark Garrett says, though, anything other than a chatterbait at Santee. So I don't know. I've never fished it. So about that tournament coming up, you kind of got your game plan already?
Yes and no. I mean,
When is that?
It's 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, I knew it was coming up close.
So when I just got back from there, and I've never been there when the water was down like it was. It's probably down 2 feet.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Really?
So it was different.
You think
but
it's coming back up for the tournament?
It's going to be. They said it'll probably be full pull by tournament, and if it is, it's going to be lights out. Like it might take 90 pounds to win.
Or a 3-day event.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
Dude.
That'd be
It's
awesome.
very possible that it could, and it's going to be very hard to beat Drew Cook.
Really? So you're picking Drew on it?
I'm picking myself.
But,
But
if you couldn't put
if
money on
if I had to
yourself,
pick somebody other than me or going with the normal Patrick, it would have
Yeah.
to be Drew, because Drew's the best sight fisherman in the country. He's
It's-
proved it.
it's going to set up.
He's proved it on Santee, and they're
Yep.
coming. Like it's going to be.
You think the spawn game will be on about that time?
I think by the time we get there, it'll be hardcore spawn, and it's gonna play right in his hands.
I love Drew.
Yeah.
Other than the fact he drinks that Busch Light peach.
He loves that.
He's
Lord.
fired up about it. Like I talked to him on Sunday because he was doing the Sonar Pro seminar, and like I listened in on his seminar a little bit talking about bed fishing, and like there's so much that goes into that. Like I'm the last person to talk to about bed fishing, but like just hearing the nuances, like it's just like any technique that when you go hard and you know your stuff, you put your time in with stuff, it really shows. Like
Yeah,
I mean, it's
he's
crazy. He's good at it.
Proved himself to be one of the best.
He's
there
got
is.
it down to a science.
What, 2 years ago when I was there in May?
Yeah.
He top tens, almost wins that one bed fishing, and nobody else could even hardly catch him out there. Him and Drew Benton, So
Yep. They're good.
he's going to be hard to beat because they're going to be coming. Like they're going to come every day while we're there. I think. Unless weather. You never know. Mother
That's
Nature.
true.
Mother Nature could throw a curveball and it could rain.
Yep.
Could get dingy. Could be hard to see them.
Yeah.
Could stay cold, but from what I've seen, water in mid-50s.
Yeah.
It's going to play. It could be lights out.
I got you. All right, let's talk about our buddies at Fishers of Hope, and then we'll get back to the questions there, Alex. So one of our sponsors, Fishers of Hope, their mission is to glorify God, be servants of his word, and to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. Now, we talk about these guys all the time, Tony Watkins and them, out of Blairsville, Georgia. Check them out on Facebook. You need to go to their Facebook page and join them. They got a great mission. Again, I tell you about it all the time. Somebody's in need. They like to throw tournaments to help them out. And also, I'm going to do it tomorrow. I've been running behind a little bit. They're doing a raffle, and I'll have the tickets here. I'll put them on the group page tomorrow. They're giving away a whole hog. A whole hog. You can get it butchered. Basically, if you win the raffle, I believe you can go to the processor in Blairsville and tell them what cuts you want and have that pig cut up just exactly the way you like it. So, Alex, how would you cut up a pig?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't eat pork?
Mostly bacon.
Bacon?
Pork chops? Ribs?
I think pork chops are kind of overrated.
Yeah.
I'm a sausage guy and bacon guy myself.
Sausage and bacon.
Sausage and bacon. Get that tenderloin right there.
You've never been to Perry's Chop House in Houston, Texas. That would change your mind.
I have not been to Perry's Chop House in Houston, Texas.
It's a $55 pork chop that'll blow your mind.
Damn, $55 pork chop.
It will
You
blow
couldn't
your
order
mind.
the steak.
Better
Well,
blow
they
more
feed
than
that
just your
thing.
mind.
I know. I mean, $55 pork chop.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, I'll have those out on the group page tomorrow. So I appreciate Fishers of Hope support. You guys check them out on Facebook. All right, scroll back up because there were quite a few questions coming in. I believe Dennis, let's see, Silverpunk. All right, how about this? And Wu-Tang Fan 864. Appreciate you joining us tonight. You ain't got to pull up, but he loves this warmer weather. Lake Kiowee was on fire this weekend. So there you go. I like it. Thanks for showing up tonight. Silverpunk, another question. What ChatterBait trailers do you like?
So I like a dadgum. My mind just went blank.
That's okay. Mine does it all the time.
Gambler.
The Gambler.
The Little Easy.
Okay.
I love a Little Easy. It's got a lot of sin in it. You don't have to try to put no sin on it, nothing, but I love a Little Easy. Red ear shad if I'm throwing green pumpkin, and then just the silver shiner if I'm throwing a white.
I got you. Little Easy was a girl that went around coming back in high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember Little Easy. Dennis Rice. As a power fisherman, do you concentrate on the north end of lakes and the dirty water?
Of course, I love dirty water in the spring, but no, I do not just concentrate on the north end of the lake. I mean, most of your fish typically live in the lower end of the lake, and you can power fish those fish just like you can on the north end, on the south ends.
Right.
I mean, yes, if there's dirty water, I'm going to go as far as I can to try to find some current in the dirty water, especially if it's a warm rain and the water's cold. But no, you don't have to run north all the time to power fish.
But if you had your druthers, stained water, clear water, you go into the stained.
Oh, I'm going to stain.
Yeah, I think everybody would give that thing. So Chris Wallace, I think you just heard him answer the trailer on the ChatterBait question. Steven's got a good question right here. Do you get spun out shallow and go to the jig or another bait for your last effort before you leave the potential pattern?
No, and that's probably one of my worst problems I have is like I'll stick shallow all day if I feel like I can get one or two more bites after that morning window. I mean, in the morning you can always catch fish shallow.
Yeah.
Year round pretty much, but a lot of times I'll stick with it too long and keep trying to power fish super shallow, and that it'll bite you sometimes.
Yeah.
But if the weather's right, if the conditions are right, if it's cloudy and if you got a little dinge or something, you can do it all day usually. But it can bite you, but no, it's not something that I get spun out doing.
Or do you get spun out at all?
Not much anymore.
You're pretty good now.
You're
seasoned.
I'm pretty seasoned. I mean, I do still spin out. Like I'll spin out in practice more than I will in a tournament, honestly,
Gotcha.
because if I'm not getting bit in practice, it makes me like want to run all over the place to try to find a bite. Whereas in a tournament, I'll kind of settle down and just pick a place apart, So I'm that early in my career, first couple years that I fished, yes, I would spin out easy if I couldn't go catch 5 really quick.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, I can catch my 5th fish on the way in. It won't bother me.
There you go. That is just something that comes with experience.
It does.
Yeah.
It comes with time. A lot of time on the water.
Yeah.
Being confident in what you're doing has a lot to do with it. I mean, if you got the confidence that you're going to get a bite in your cast, it's not hard to keep doing what you're doing and to not spin out.
Yeah.
But you got to have a lot of confidence too in what you're doing.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't.
And I feel like momentum's huge too. Like if you go till 1 o'clock without a bite, I feel like that's so much easier to spin out versus you pull up on your first spot and catch one. I mean, you could just catch one, and I feel like that changes your whole tournament.
It does. And catching one fish, doing what you want to do too, will make you stick with your game plan longer.
100%.
Like if you're going out there in the mindset that I'm going to be able to catch them on a stump in 3 foot of water, and you do that first thing, you can stick with it all day. And even though you might not get a bite doing it the rest of the day, you feel like you
feel like you got it in your mind. I got that. How long do you stick with something before you just like this crap isn't working? Or are you just one of those, I am going to stick to this all day?
I'm usually one of them guys that I'm going to stick with this all day until like I get beat to death with it. And then I might try to do something different. But a lot of times I have the problem of sticking with it too long.
Yeah. I think you're not alone with that. Mark Garrett says he's a co, by the way. I must have missed his earlier comment.
No, you read it.
That was him.
The Harris chain.
Oh, so he's going down as a co-angler. Well, best of luck there, Mark. I hope you do well. Cody Campbell, do you think that Lanier's largemouth are fishing relatively tough too? Now, you haven't been on Lanier.
I haven't been on Lanier since we fished it last.
Yeah.
No, I did. I went in December maybe. But I haven't spent a lot of time over in the last couple of years. So the largemouth's not a big thing for me right there right now.
I will say that the only fish I weighed in on our last tournament, they were largemouth. Or let me rephrase that. It was a largemouth. It wasn't a big. I told him about that. I'm serious. Now, you talking about spinning out. I don't spin out no more, and my New Year's resolution was to not get angry at anything this year. My transfer case blew up on my truck. My back motor wasn't working. My grass quit working. I fished all day. It was that bad I picked up a jerkbait. First cast was a 15-pound striper. Second one was a largemouth. I'm like, I've established a pattern, boys. That was about 1 o'clock.
We're locked in.
And you know what? I died on that hill, too. I didn't get, and everybody knows jerkbait is not one of my better techniques. But by gosh, I threw that daggum mixed stick. Like it was I was just knew there was going to be another bite. Well, it bit me in the ass. But, hey, I took 7th with one fish. That's how bad Lanier's fishing. So
it's hard for me to believe it's that bad.
I'd rather have sat through an insurance
seminar.
It's been so
good so long.
Well, that's the thing. In January, it's normally 20-something pounds to win a tournament. I mean, seriously, Lanier fish is great when it's cold.
It does.
And it's tough when they're not pushing water, too.
No generation, and this warmness will hurt a spotted lake, too,
Yeah. Please be biting Saturdays, all I can say. Being a power fisherman, do you throw any kind of topwater, and what kind? Well, hell, we know we don't throw a buzzbait.
No, I don't throw a buzzbait. Yes,
which is shocking to me, being that you're a power guy.
I hate it. Like, I do love a topwater, though. I like a old school Lucky Craft gunfish.
Yeah. Oh, that's
especially if I'm fishing anywhere with grass or largemouth.
Yep.
A gunfish is my go-to.
I just can't believe you don't throw a buzzbait.
Never. Like, you can go. I got thousands of baits in my boat and maybe 3 buzz baits, and one of them Nick Brown gave me.
There you go. So, all right. So, hey, listen, I get it. What's up, John G? Glad you could show up. Let's see. Tristan McFarland. Here's a good question here. What's your go-to bait for the cold water temps? So, like right now, I think we've established you like throwing a crankbait.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you consider that your go-to right now?
Yeah. So, any red colored crankbait?
Yeah.
And if you can't get bit on that, a shaky head.
Yeah.
Green pumpkin shaky head.
Well, see, that's what I thought. I didn't get this first bite on a shaky head. And all the guys that I talked to, like the shaky head bite was non-existent.
Mm-hmm.
They just weren't feeding on the bottom, I feel like, that weekend.
Yeah, they weren't feeding anywhere.
Well, yeah, it was tough.
It was tough.
Yeah.
It's, but, you know, I've always felt like on Lanier, Allatoona, any of these lakes, if you just want to get 5 fish in the boat, you can throw a shaky head.
That's what you think. I mean, anywhere in the country.
Yeah,
you know.
but good Lord. Mark got third in the Hartwell BFL this past Saturday. Had a 4.0 and a 4.6 largemouth with a 2-1 spot.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah. I'd have took that last Saturday.
Was that out in the back of the boat too?
Yeah. Were you a co on that?
Yeah, that's awesome.
So top co caught a 7.14 though.
Yeah.
That's how it happens. Danny, how do I get one of those T-shirts you were wearing? Well, you got to go to Michigan.
Yeah.
And you got to go to the Workshop Distillery in Traverse City, Michigan. And you got to tell them that you're with the Real American Road Trip.
I've been there.
Yeah, you went to Traverse City.
Yeah. I think I've been to that brewery too. Actually, now that back in 2020 when I filmed Meat Eater.
Meat Eater
Yeah.
was up there filming, doing some stuff too with the guide that I was on in that trip. Brian Kosminski.
Brian Kosminski.
Did you work on that?
I was filming that trip.
Was that it?
Cos, yeah.
Okay, well there you go. That's who I went with.
That's wild.
Yeah, so I will tell you this. I do some kind of beer where it's like it adds some kind of foam to it, but you got to let the beer sit for like 10 minutes before you can drink it.
That's wild.
Yeah, but it's good. Their stuff was really good. So yeah, go to Traverse
crazy
City.
that you were up there. That's cool.
How come you didn't get a shirt?
Well, I had enough going on. So little backstory because this was like hilarious. So we filmed this series called Das Boat. It's basically Pimp My Ride with Steve Rinella's old boat.
Yep.
And so this was the second stop was Traverse City, Michigan. And so like the first stop.
Is it Traverse or Traverse?
Traverse.
Okay,
yeah,
you know me, I'm normally the one that says everything wrong. So that's why I asked.
And so Traverse
I
City.
always thought it was
So
Traverse too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Hell, Traverse. It doesn't.
So in between the first episode we filmed, we had one day in between before we had to film the next day. And so I was with my buddy Paul Bork, who I was working for at the time, and we were filming. And he was like, "Well, dude, do you want to take the DOS boat and just go fish a little bit first?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah.
So we smashed them on this little lake up there, and like absolutely just wore them out. It was like every grass clump we found, we flipped a jig to, and we're catching like 4-pound smallmouth. Like it was awesome. It was a blast. But so I guess back up right before that, I had to take Steve Rinella to the airport, and I'm freaking out. I'm sitting here like 22 years old, like I'm
you don't want to wreck Steve Rinella.
I was like, I'm driving Steve Rinella to the airport, and it was like an 1.5-hour drive. Well, we had fished all day, and so he gets in my truck, and it's like hot. It's June. It's like 75, 80 degrees, and I got a black pickup truck. He gets in my truck, and we just cleaned a bunch of lake trout out of Lake Michigan and everything. So, I mean, as you would, you're sweaty and you smell like fish. So we both get in the truck. He's like, "Man, it's hot in here." And I'm like, "I know." I'm just like waiting on the AC to kick on. I'm like it's normally fine. Like, what's going on? My AC went out in my truck, and I had an 1.5-hour drive in the truck, and we're sweaty, smell like fish. And when he's not on camera, he's on the phone because he's a businessman. He's making deals left and right. So we can't roll the windows down because he's on the phone the whole time.
Oh, you were baking.
So we're just sitting there steaming. He's like, "Man, it's hot in here." I'm like, "I know, but like, I can't do anything
Bro,
about
what
it."
do we do?
So he probably hates me because he's like, "Oh, that truck." So when we went up to Traverse City, I had to get the AC fixed like a random place or whatever. So we call up this Boyne City Tire and Brake. The guy answers the phone and he's like, "Boyne City." And he's like, "Yeah, we can get you in, whatever, and take care of it." And then so we walk in and we're all in like fishing clothes or whatever. And he's like, "So what are you guys filming?" And we were like, "Oh, we're up here filming a fishing show." And he's like, "You sure you're not shooting porn? Because they both smell the same on set." And I was like, I will never forget that ever. But I did get the AC fixed because we were on the road for another 5 weeks filming that. So I was like, I mean, I've got my truck here. I got to get it fixed. And it was like $800 hit. It hurt. But
in his autobiography, you'll probably have a little section. I remember one time when I was in Michigan, and this young punk, camera guy didn't have no air conditioning. Yep. That's funny though.
Yeah,
great place if you get up there though. It's and
beautiful.
Also go to Traverse City Distillery. It's or Traverse, whatever.
Respect the anvil.
It's good. Respect the anvil. My wife says respect the anal every time I put this shirt on. Every time I put this on, I said it's anvil. She goes, oh, it's anal. And I'm like, no, it is not.
All right, let's put
I hope
this,
you- yeah, I
get
hope
it back
you-
on the
sorry.
train here.
All right. What's the heaviest fluoro line you use flipping, Barron, and your favorite soft plastic when flipping? Do you do any flipping?
Oh yeah, I love flipping.
Okay, so
25-pound fluoro, Reaction Innovations Beaver,
there you go.
or a jig, one of the two when I'm flipping. I mean, I don't think you need to. I mean, when you're flipping shallow,
Yeah,
those fish ain't looking at the line. So I mean, you might as well use something you know you can jerk one out from under a
that's
log.
right. You got
or
to
a
cross
knot.
their eyes and all that.
Yeah, I don't think they care.
Okay, that's something I can't do either. So, going up. Let's see. Okay, all right. I thought I missed a question. So, pull up Far Dog. Yes, Danny. Them Michelob Ultra Infusions prickly pear got me fired up. I'm ready to sling a 5-pounder in the boat. Look, listen,
I like it.
if you go to Port St. Joe and you're drinking, everybody drinks Michelob Ultra there, and they're called Port St. Joe iced teas. Just to let you know, that's what the locals call them there. Let's see what we got. Tristan's got another question. You guys are great with the questions tonight. I told you, the show goes the way the comments go. So,
Yeah,
what's 3 go-to baits in cold water? Now, we already know crankbait number 1.
yes.
All right, what's your other 2?
Shaky Head,
Mm-hmm.
football jig.
Football jig. There you go. Simple enough.
Yeah. Keep it
Simple enough.
simple. I mean, and green pumpkin. I mean, it's the
Yeah.
only color you need, really.
I think if you only had one color for the rest of your life of anything to throw,
Green pumpkin.
green pumpkin,
Mhm.
you will catch fish on that. Patricia Leanne Shaw. Bassmaster guys have taken over the NPFL. I was going to bring that up, so I'm glad you did it. Now, got a big influx of guys coming in.
Mhm.
I am of the opinion, and I could be 100% wrong, which I normally am, that I don't think they're going to come in and just dominate like a lot of people think. What about you? I mean, as far as the competition, now there's some great anglers coming, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, the NPFL had some hellacious anglers too.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys that know how to catch them too.
Yeah.
So I mean, just because they're coming over here don't mean they're going to take all the money.
That's right.
You know, they still got to go fish, and you still got to beat the elements, and you still got to catch the fish.
That's right.
Just because you fished on the elites for 25 years don't mean that you're going to win every tournament and cash every check. You
I
know?
agree. Yeah.
I do agree that they are some of the best guys that fish the elites coming to fish with us next year. And I'm excited to get to fish with them. Like, I think it's awesome that G-Man's coming.
Yeah, that was my next question.
all
What, is there one angler that's coming that you're like, either A, you haven't met and you want to meet, and then 2, that you just want to beat? In good sportsmanship and all that, but you're like, I just want to beat this guy.
I tell you, the guy that I want to beat at Santee, and I've looked up to him my whole life. Just I like the way he fishes, Hackney.
Hackney, yeah.
But
I can
I
see
mean,
that.
I've never met Hackney.
Yeah.
I think he's an incredible fisherman, super cool dude. I've been a fan of his for as long as I can remember. But
Right.
that's one person I'd like to beat.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, and Patrick, I would like to beat Patrick at Santee too. I mean, he's the man on Santee.
Yeah.
I like Patrick. You know, I talked to him this past weekend. Talked to him on the phone regularly, and I like everything about him. But those are a couple of people that
You even
I'd
like
like to
his
beat at
shorts that he
Santee.
wears all the time?
That's not my cup of tea.
What I'm saying is we've seen his ass more than we've seen anything in them shorts. Like, I
But yeah,
honestly, I could pick Patrick Walters out of a lineup by his ass alone.
Going back to the elite guys, you know, I think it's cool that they're coming. I mean, it's better for us. You know, it's going to help us in the long run. Like when you got Gerald Swindle on the stage, I mean, he's the best talker in fishing. Like, I don't want to have to weigh in after him, but I think it's awesome that he's going to be there. I think it's cool. You know, I mean, he's one of the best hot men in fishing.
Oh yeah. You know what we need to do
And
this year?
can
with him? I'll
talk
tell you in a
like
second.
nobody.
Yeah.
You
So we need to do a survey or like a scientific study. So when G-Man comes up, you know, if the microphone's in his mouth, or not in his mouth, in front of his mouth, he's going to talk for a while.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious to see what the next guy does. Like, we could probably go back and just see if they're like, if they get like 2 seconds or, you know, because he probably talks 5 minutes while he's up there.
Yeah.
And then you got to follow him.
Yeah.
That's a tough act to follow.
If I have to follow him, it ain't gonna be nothing. I'm just gonna walk off stage. I'm going.
Here's my fish. See you right
Yeah.
there. So let's say He sounds like Keith Poche or John Cox just staying with you. Freddie, explain that one to me. I'm sorry. It's been one of them days. So catching one is a false.
with your deal.
Do what now?
Sticking with your deal.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Thank you, Alex. Not only are you great on the board, but, keeping me straight back there. What's our next question? Eddie Hudson? What's your go-to worm on a shaky head and your favorite color? Now, I assume we're going to say green pumpkin.
I like green pumpkin, purple flake.
Yeah.
And I'm throwing a Cinco, 5-inch Cinco.
Another guy throwing a Cinco.
That's section 2 coming out on you.
Is that what it is? Your man. So we've had this. We've had this conversation before. Some guys throw a Cinco. Mm-hmm. Some guys throw a trick worm and all that. Why do you throw the Cinco?
I don't know. Like, I was hardcore trick worm guy forever. Like, loved them. And then probably 5 or 6 years ago, I got into throwing a Cinco on a shaky head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I get more bites. So I think it's a confidence thing now. And
Yeah.
I feel like I get a bigger bite on it because it's kind of a bigger profile bait. So I've stuck to that lately, and that's really all I throw on it.
Do you ever dip your tail in anything?
Yeah. I'm doing for fishing spot lakes for sure.
Yeah. You go with the chartreuse and orange? Or mostly chartreuse?
Mostly chartreuse.
Okay. I feel like the fall rate has a lot to do with that too, with the Cinco versus
I mean, a Cinco has a wobble when it falls too,
Yeah. Well, hell, ain't you throwing it on like a 5/8? So didn't you say that? Yeah, hell, it's got a sink rate.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, why do you throw a 5/8? Just out of curiosity.
Because I like to be able to feel when I'm fishing better, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm not throwing it on a spinning rod. I'm throwing it on a 20-pound fluoro on a bait caster.
On a bait caster.
Yeah.
Okay. That
so,
makes sense.
I'm throwing it with a bigger, heavy-duty setup when I throw that big shaky head like that.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a big worm, but I like a big weight. I mean, I like to hit them in the head and make them bite it,
Oh, hell yeah. I wish that would happen to me. The 5-inch Cinco, pretty much your standard?
5-inch, yeah.
Any company brand?
Yamamoto.
You can't beat a Yamamoto Cinco.
No,
you ain't going to catch but one fish
you're
on the
gonna catch
Joker.
one most of the time. Maybe 2 or 3 if you're lucky, but dude, they get bit.
They do. I don't know what it is. I guess it's that salt content.
And even
or whatever.
like if you're throwing a wacky worm, the sink rate, the way they sink, the way they flutter when they sink, they're different than any of them, in my opinion. Everybody's got their own bait they love, but to me, it falls better, it sinks better. And
now we'll see how much I like you. You like throwing the wacky?
I love the wacky.
There you go. He's good on my. Everybody around here knows that's what I throw.
Mm-hmm.
I'll throw a weightless wacky year round.
Yeah, I've won a lot of money with a wacky worm.
There you go.
Especially in the spring and summer.
I like you more and more every minute we go by. Tony Hall, how about a spinnerbait this time of year? And if so, you slow rolling it or you burning it?
I will throw a spinnerbait a lot, especially if I'm around grass like Santee. I'll throw a spinnerbait a lot, and I like to slow roll it. Something with some big blades, 1/2 ounce spinnerbait.
I figured he was going to say the big blades.
Yeah, I like the big blade. I like the slow rolling.
I like that. There you go. Craftmaster, what did it take for the Barnes Derby on Saturday?
I think it was like 21.
21 pounds?
I thought it was 22.
It might have been. It's 20 plus.
Yeah, it was over 20.
Which is crazy because, like I said, the bite's tough right now. There's always somebody in Barnes' tournament that's going to come back with 20-something pounds. Mm-hmm. It just never, ever fails. David Weaver, we're behind right here on the comments. He loves the gunfish. There's so many questions tonight. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're going to keep throwing them out there. Stephen W. says he's not wrong about the shaky head kept me from zeroing. Tristan, here's a good question. He's always had. When you go to a new lake, how do you approach it, if that makes sense? So a lake you've never fished before.
So nowadays we have the internet, of course. So I mean, you can look up and find any information on any body of water, pretty much. But it's always good to get you a card like for your graph. And
mm-hmm.
I like to go ahead and break down the lake a little bit on the card, like not necessarily what area of the lake I want to fish, but what if I'm going in the summertime or the spring or the fall, I want to look at secondary or main points and mark that stuff and go check it out, So
Right.
a map is the best thing you can do, in my opinion, to break down the lake. I mean, yeah, you can watch all the stuff you want to watch, but it's hard for me to watch a show. It's hard for me to like talk to you and you tell me where to go fish.
Yeah.
And for me to catch your fish.
Yeah.
For me, that's hard to do.
Right.
A lot of guys can do it, but I'm not the person that's good at catching other people's fish. So I like to break it down myself with a map. I do like to watch shows. Like I'll go back and watch Bassmasters from 20 years ago.
Right.
Just to see the pattern of where the fish live, mostly in the lake. And then I like to break down those areas myself.
I would say though, if you were trying to catch the fish, I fish, you'd probably catch them because I sure as hell didn't put a hook.
I don't know.
So they're not sort of or nothing like that.
I'm not good at that. Like I've got info on places before and not been able to catch them.
I've always said that some guys will come on and they don't want to talk about certain things and all that. And I respect that. But I like the guys that are confident and say, yeah, I'm catching them on this. This is what I did because, and they're confident. They don't care if they tell anybody because they know just that. Because I can do it.
And
it's not a cocky
thing. I'm not fishing secrets. Like I'm not throwing anything secretive.
Right.
I'm not throwing the sea urchins and things like
the
that.
Sea urchins.
I'm basically power fishing and shaky head, wacky worm jig. That's pretty much me.
Do we know anybody that's caught anything on one of those yet?
I don't.
I don't either. Do you, Alex? I mean, kayak guys are weird.
I think I do, but I can't say for sure.
Would it be a kayak guy?
I just don't know what.
Well, he's got a boat now.
Like, yeah,
it's just
something trip.
It's just something different.
No.
Oh, okay. It is different.
It's just.
But
profile a lot moving in their face. Like I mean, especially if you throw it on a drop shot, I feel like you can just set it there and it's just sitting there just urchining around.
It's like boobs. They're going to look at it.
I mean, at least get mesmerized. For
that's what I'm saying. And then you got to decide to eat it or not. All right, let's see. Zach Bryant, what action rod do you use for your chatterbait?
I like a medium heavy action rod, like a crankbait rod.
Got a lot of play into it. There's a lot of parabolic.
Yeah, but I want a lot of backbone in it too. So, best chatterbait rod ever made, in my opinion, is a 906 G Loomis old school. Yeah. 906 crankbait rod.
That's a glass rod, right?
No, it's not a glass rod. It's a composite, but it's soft tip.
I got
a lot of backbone.
Okay.
7.6. I mean,
I like that.
It's the best.
The best,
in my opinion, to throw a chatterbait.
Barron Adams approved.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. Far
They're
dog.
hard to find anymore.
Yeah, I bet. Far dog right there. All right, Barron, bro. Them damn Michelob Ultras are kicking, bro. When you fish in shallow, what's one juicy thing you look at that tells you this pocket will hold the right fish?
Reading
the punctuation in that question.
I thought I did well with it.
If it's springtime, like right now, pre-spawn, we're talking pre-spawn stuff, and the water is down. If there's a drawdown lake you're fishing, that muddy transition to rock to mud stuff.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Your eyes are like, that's golden right there.
That's golden.
Yeah, I like that. He also wants to beat Skeet and Ike. When I was younger, got them both on the Red River in 2004 at the Bass 150 Invitationals. Hey, listen, I tell you what, I think it's good.
Still popping that collar.
Popping that collar. Yeah, I think it's good to have somebody that you like. Yeah. There's guys I fish against. I'm like, even if I don't win the tournament, if I could beat this guy today, I've had a good day because they're consistent and all that. So
yeah, there's that guy everywhere you go.
Yeah,
I mean, any lake you go to, whether you're fishing a big tournament or just a pot tournament, or a Tuesday nighter with 10 boats, there's that one person that is going to catch them, and you always want to beat him.
It's like I go home, my wife goes, "You win any money?" I'm like, "No, but I beat so and so."
I beat him.
Well, that
and my wife will ask me that a lot of times. Did you beat so and so?
Yeah, so she knows. She knows your list right there. So I love
she's
that.
A tournament director. She better know who it is.
Yeah, right. Let's see.
She's not the tournament director.
Not anymore, but I get it. I get it. She should know. Let's see. What shaky head do you throw?
I like the owner.
I love owners.
The owner.
Is it the ultra one?
Yeah, the ultra head.
That's what I throw. Mm-hmm. That's what I throw. That to me, that's the best.
Or spot remover. Old school spot remover. You can't beat it either.
I just think those owner ultra heads are just like Boy, they're sticky
The
too.
owner ultra head or the Magnum spot remover.
Yeah, they're
It's a bigger
sticky.
hook.
All right, so hey, all right, guys, you guys keep listening. You keep the questions coming. If we haven't got to it yet, we will get to it. I promise you. And if you think we missed it, put it back in the comment section. But now we're going to do our question of the night. I got a good prize for you guys tonight. Okay, good prize. A Plano Edge jig and bladed jig box right here.
Shoot, I need that.
Can I
Yeah. But you
I
can't
wanna
play.
I want to play. I got the
You
answer
can't
right
play.
here.
You got the answers. But this is what I'm going to give to the first person that gets both answers to this question, okay? Both answers to this question. I'm going to say it just like Kevin does 2 times. So there's 2 answers. And when you put the answer in the comment section, you got to have both of them. Don't be the guy that gives half of it right and let somebody else get the other half and take this Plano Edge jig box away from you. So here's the question.
Wait.
Huh? What? Oh, good Lord. I was
Come
so
on,
excited. Thank you, Alex.
Alan's gonna
It's
be
been one of
mad.
our question is brought to you by Serve IT, Alan, the guys over there. You guys hear me talk about all the time. If your company, thank you, Alex. I appreciate somebody watching out for me. I got my work wives and I got my wife at home. And if it wasn't for all you guys, I'd be lost. I would be lost. Serve IT, if your company's looking for a complete, one-stop, comprehensive IT solution for your company, Serve IT is the guys for you. Their process is amazing. You can go to serveit.com and actually see it right there on the screen. Specializing in smaller companies. Again, we talk about them. You don't need a huge, huge company to have IT services. You all have them right there. And Serve IT can take care of anything. Problem solving, they'll stick with it till it's done. Customer service is what they base their company on. So check them out at Serve IT. And also, if you're watching tonight and you're thinking about a career in the IT industry, Serve IT wants to talk to you. Go to Serve IT and look on their careers portion of their website and tell them that you heard about it at Fish, North Georgia, and you will get at least a call from them. So I appreciate Alan and the guys over there and gals that work there, and also Alex for reminding me. Boy, I'm learning all this stuff tonight, dude. I'm like, I want to get this question out of the way. All right, I really do, because I want to get back to the conversation. All right, so here's the question, 2-parter. As currently stated on the NPFL website, how many anglers on the 2025 roster are from Georgia, and how many of those have been on the Fish North Georgia podcast or the live well? And that does include Barron tonight. Okay, we're going to include them. So here's the question again. How many of the current 2025 NPF anglers, as shown on their website today, are from the state of Georgia, and how many of those have been on our podcast? So there you go. And again, Barron is included in that. So you're going to be watching for the, well, we're going to have to go ahead and scroll on down. Yeah, you already scrolled down?
I got my phone up too.
You got it up?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys, you're close, but unless I counted wrong, not yet. Not yet. So, we were talking last week that there were 22 from North Carolina.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I told you before the show, that kind of shocked everybody.
That shocked me too, because I mean, I knew 2
Yeah,
from last year,
right.
Jesse and Mike Corbersley.
Yep.
Well, I know a couple more. Richard Cooper,
Dustin Williamson.
Dustin Williamson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, now that you say it, I know
Hey,
a
listen.
couple,
Hey,
but I don't know 22.
hey, Alex, on your phone, pull up. I might have it wrong.
He is really, really close to the
Like,
answer
I
you
might
had.
have it wrong.
Hey, come on, Danny.
Listen, if you guys are counting, go ahead and count it, because I might have, listen, I forgot Serve IT. I might have miscounted, but I do know the answer of how many's been on the show. So it might have already been stated. Okay, so I might have it wrong.
Come on, Danny.
This is why I have Kevin. Hey, pull it up on your phone and see. Okay, I'll keep watching.
Okay.
I'll keep watching. But I thought I counted. I might have wrote it down wrong. But anyway, guys, so you guys look it up. I just keep seeing the same number over and over again. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
Somebody's got it right.
Dude, I've been known to absolutely murder things. And like, come on, man, in not of. I appreciate you joining us tonight, bro. I honestly might have absolutely jacked it up. I pulled up the NPFL website, and then I went to Anglers, and I started counting. And I think I might have written down the wrong answer for you over there, Alex. So, Alex,
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
let's
So we
see.
have the
Carson
right
got it.
answer.
Carson got it then.
Where was it?
He would have been right here.
Carson. Yeah, he's on up.
11-6.
Yeah, it's 11
It
and
was
6,
the
and I
first
wrote
one.
down 10 and 6, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Well, Carson, the answer is there are 11 guys from Georgia, and 6 have been on the podcast. Now, the 6 are Will Harkins, Drew Cook, Alan Armour, you, Justin Kimmel, and Jesse Millsaps. So that I know is correct. So anyway, appreciate you guys trying, and I'm sorry I absolutely muffed that one all to pieces. But listen, some of them are like, damn it, I'm telling you, I know it's 11 and 6. I'm counting right here. So anyway, yeah, the answer is 11 are from the state of Georgia, and 6 have been on our show, and that does include Barron right here. So that's awesome, and I appreciate you guys. And I'm sorry. So
a lot of them got it right.
yeah, hell yeah, they got it right. That's why I kept seeing 11. Like I kept seeing 11. I'm like, I wrote down 10. This is why I let other guys do the question of the night, and it's why I let Kevin do it. So anyway, thank you guys for playing. And Carson, I think he's won before, hasn't he?
I don't know.
Well, I think he has, but send me your address via Messenger just in case, and I'll get it out tomorrow. So that's a hell of a prize, though.
That's
Them
sweet.
things are nice.
I'll give it to him if you want.
Is that what you want me to do? He'll get it like next delivery. It's a little stained up, like that.
It's rusty.
All right, so let's go back up because there were plenty of questions. Or actually, let's do this. Stop right. Let's see. Start with in not up. Or go one up. Go one more up. Mark Garrett. All right, so listen, from Mark Garrett down, if your question was up above Mark Garrett, which I can't remember if it is, throw it back down. We just got to pick a starting point, and that's what we're going. What makes you throw a jig over a shaky head?
Honestly, it's kind of one of them, how I'm feeling that day, really. I mean, like sometimes, say at my hometown in Blue Ridge, we fish a little evening tournament on Wednesday nights. And there's some days they won't bite a shaky head, they'll bite a football jig. And I think it's more of the bigger profile you have with the football jig.
Yeah.
Depending on what they're eating that day. If they're up in the rocks or something, like if I'm catching them out of rocks, I'm more than likely going to throw a football jig. But if I'm fishing brush, it seems like I get more bites on the shaky head than I do a jig.
I got you. It makes sense to me. And I have a tournament. I have an electric only tournament on Blue Ridge, so now I know who I can. Dude, help a brother out.
I'll help you.
Oh, good. I like it. That's why I make friends with all you guys right there. Insider info. In, not up. If a guy runs in on you, do you keep fishing, stay quiet, rip him a new one, or quietly leave?
I just keep fishing usually. You can't let that stuff bother you. I mean, it's always going to happen at some point in your fishing career. No, I don't care where you're at, what tournament you're fishing or whatever. And for instance, last year, me, Dustin Perry, Ryan Satterfield, and Jesse Wise literally set boat to boat at Pickwick on one hole for the first day of the tournament. And 2 of us caught them and the other 2 didn't. But, it's one of them things like, yes, we all 4 found the fish. Is it what you want to do? No, it's not. But I mean, really, at the end of the day, we're all trying to cash a check.
Yeah,
we're all just fishing for fun. I love fishing. I'm not out there to get in fights and arguments with people. So I'm more the guy just to fish and let it go.
Okay.
I mean,
I like that.
I don't like it. I don't love a guy running up on me.
Right.
But it's one of them things. You just got to deal with it.
Let me ask you, do y'all have conversations when it's like that?
Oh, dude. Listen, so
where you going after tonight?
So I did not know Dustin Perry before that tournament Pickwick. Yeah. And now we've got to talking, we're good friends now, And after the first day of the tournament, he texted me, said, "Hey, I'm going there." I said, "Yeah, I'll be there too."
Right.
I said, "You had a better bag than me. I'll stay off the juice. I'll fish around. You can have the good spot, So that second day of the tournament, they didn't bite on the juice. They'd moved out, and I called him, and he didn't. So the next day, he told me the same thing I told him. Hey, I'm coming. You can have the good spot where you was. I'll stay off of it. It works out. and we become good friends after that, you know. But it could have went south real easy
I feel like
because
that communication,
that communication thing right there. And the second day I was giving him baits. The third day he was giving me baits because it was weird. Like he caught them the first day, I caught them the second day, and he caught them the third day.
Right.
And we were handing baits back and forth to each other. You know, hey, they're biting this one. He didn't have one, so I threw it in his boat. You know,
I like that.
Mhm.
I like that. Let me tell you how bad my brain is. Carson was up here earlier today. we talked for about an hour. Listen, and it just did not even dawn on me. Like, no shit, seriously. We're going to put together a coyote hunt. And we sat up here and talked for an hour. I think he left at like 6:45, 7 o'clock. And then I'm like, hey, give me your address. My bad. And I promise you, I did not tell him what the question was. I didn't. He just sent me a message. He goes, give it to me when we go coyote hunting. I'm like, duh. All right. So do you fish a fluke at all? And if so, what kind?
yeah, I do. I throw a zoom. You know,
Just the old standard
the
zoom?
old school zoom.
What
bait
would make
fish
you
color.
what would make you throw the fluke? Is there a certain time of year you like it over the others, or
I mean, I like it post spawn when fish are up there roaming, eating. I mean, of
Yeah.
course, and you know, schooling fish, they're always going to eat it. So
yeah.
it's a good bite generating bait certain times of the year.
Yeah.
You know, especially post spawn.
But I got a feeling you're not putting it on a ball head jig and
No.
throwing it down over timber or anything like that.
No, I'm not. I don't have the patience to do that
Oh,
stuff.
I know. JD Majors, appreciate you joining us. What are your favorite traps for Gunnersville for next month?
Spro, the Ruku shad,
Yeah.
75, 65,
And let me ask you this: red?
red for sure.
Yeah, I'm figuring this guy out as we go. I like it. I scroll down through all these answers now. I really muffed up that question there, Alex. I'm like, all right, here we go. Far dog. See if the juice has kicked in me more by now. Barron, what boat and motor did you start with, and what do you run today?
So when I turned 16, I'd fished my whole life. I turned 16, I wanted a boat instead of a truck. So my dad bought me my mom and dad bought me my first boat. It was a Super Pro 200 Procraft with a 200 Mercury on it. And me and my buddies wore that joker out.
I bet so.
We pulled it all over the country. It didn't matter whose truck we took. If I didn't, I didn't have a truck at the time. I wanted a boat. So we pulled that joker all over the country, wore that joker out. Now I run a Phoenix.
Run the Phoenix.
Run a 20XE Phoenix.
There you go. Anything? What have you got?
I got a Skeeter. I got an old
Skeeter.
Skeeter.
You got an old Skeeter.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out all the guys that I know that have a Phoenix.
There's a bunch.
There's
a
bunch.
good reason why. It's a good boat.
Absolutely.
It's a very good boat.
It is. Brad Silvers. Any tips on catching super deep spots in super clear water, 14-foot visibility?
Sure.
I heard, now I had a guy tell me over at Young Deer, and I imagine guys that fish Burton run into this, but he could see 10, 11 foot deep at Young Deer the other day.
I can see it. What is that? Little Ridge on Sunday.
Yeah, it was like crazy clear. So
That Lanier tournament I fished, it was 15 foot all
it's
day.
crazy clear right now. So if you had, again, I know that ain't your favorite
It's
way.
not
to do
my
things,
favorite, but I mean,
if you had to, what would
there's
you do?
places we go where you got to.
Yeah. So how would you?
We go up north, and man, you can see 12, 15 foot up there in places. I mean, drop shot, of course, always good. A translucent bait, like on a drop shot, like a morning dawn, something that catches a lot of sun, catches their eye. Ned rigs are good, super clear water, cold.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, do you like throwing a Ned rig?
No, I don't.
Listen, I like throwing a Ned rig, but I had a feeling that that is probably not one of the first ones you're going to.
And a drop shot's not either. I mean, I
Yeah.
used to love a drop shot. I used to be a big time drop shot guy, but I'm not anymore. Just I'm over it for whatever reason.
I'm over it. I'm over it. Silverpunk wants to know: do you trim your chatterbaits and jigs?
Not my chatterbaits, but I do my jigs always.
How do you trim them?
I like to trim them off pretty close to the hook length, like in line with my hook.
Yeah.
I like my trailer to be a little bit bigger, so it has more flash to it.
So I
also don't rig my trailer like a normal.
Okay. All right, well, let's hear. How do you rig your trailer?
I like it vertical instead of laying down. So like if you're flipping,
Yeah.
A bluegill don't swim like this. He swims like this. So
Oh, so you flip it
I
sideways.
flip it sideways.
You know what my mind went? I was like, damn, he's rigging it Texas rig like a shaky head. Where it stands up. I was trying to
No.
figure out how he did it in my mind.
What about your weed guard? You do anything to the weed guard?
I mean, I usually throw a jig without a big, huge weed guard, but if it's got a big one, I'll cut it down.
You cut it down even with the hook, like
Yeah.
to where it comes
I
out.
mean,
Just barely
you don't
touching.
want it. You don't want a massive, super thick weed guard, so trim it up
Right.
a little,
Yeah.
and cut it off.
Like
just a
when
little
when
bit.
I tie jigs, I try to, because everybody's different. I go about a thumb, like a knuckle deep. I go about
One
knuckle. I go about a knuckle past the hook, and that's
Yeah.
where I cut it. And then I use a medium weed guard because I think it's soft enough.
Yeah,
And then
I
allow
don't
if
like a
somebody
real strong, stout weed guard. I mean,
No.
I know a lot of the Florida guys that love those. Like they want a double weed guard with super thick, but they're flipping grass too, so it's a lot.
That
different
makes
than
sense
It's a
with
lot
that.
different what we're used to up here.
That makes sense. Todd Abbott, do you bend your hook out on your football jig?
No, I do not.
Very
I
interesting.
know a lot of
question right
people
there.
do bend the hook out on jigs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people bend them out on ChatterBait, but I'm usually not the person that does that. I don't throw a football jig or ChatterBait on light line. I'm throwing like 20 usually.
Yeah, I
Plus.
find it weakens the hook a little bit.
It does.
It just gives it that one spot that if it's going to fail, it's,
Mhm.
you know.
It could fail at that spot, but I mean, a lot of your big time good ChatterBait guys bend it out a little.
Do they really?
Mhm.
I know guys that throw frogs do it and all
Oh
that.
yeah.
After they've boiled it and had a seance over it and all this other stuff. What are you laughing at? They
That's
do.
funny.
In not of. Do you have any bass secrets you will take to your grave? Whether a technique, lure, ritual, etc. You got a voodoo doll or anything like
No,
that?
I ain't got no voodoo dolls, but I mean, I got a couple things that
Gonna take to the grave.
I'm not going to talk about. You know, we do
Oh yeah.
certain little things to get a big bite here and there, but a lot of people are figuring it out. They've figured it out over time. I mean, like 10 years ago, we had it all to ourselves, and now we really don't. But
Right.
it is what it is.
How about
People catch up with the times, and I mean, there's like we talked before. I mean, you can watch any show in the world on the internet
right.
and see anything
Yeah.
to catch a big bass now.
Rituals though. I like when that comes up. Do you have anything like you wear the same underwear if you catch them good?
I wear
one
the
day or
same
something?
hat.
You wear the same hat?
Yeah, and it's wore out. Like I went and eat with my sponsor this weekend, and he was like, "Dude, that's an old school hat." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's my lucky one.
It's your lucky one.
That's the one I use."
I get that. What about
I've got an old rain suit too that is 20 years old. In the summertime, I'll wear it just because it's just, I don't know, it's just one of them things.
if you had to patch it up or anything like that? Is it
No, it's got some
good?
holes in it. It leaks a little.
It
If it's
leaks a
raining
little.
bad, it leaks. But-
I always find that interesting to see guys that have their superstitions.
And what's funny is my buddies from home, like if there's a picture of me in my old rain gear, they always give me heck.
Oh yeah.
You ever gonna get rid of that?
And listen, if
No.
it works, and again, back to the confidence thing.
It is.
If you got confidence in it. What's your go-to jig? Jeremy Tyson wants to know.
So if I'm throwing a football jig, I love a Dandy jig. They don't make them no more. It was a California company, and 3 or 4 years ago they sold out. Don't know who bought them out, but I called them and bought pretty much everything they had that I could get my hands on at the time, and I'm
Yeah.
running low on them. But that's the one I throw as a Dandy jig.
I like the company that bought them, like, hey, you had 1,000 jigs in stock last week when we bought you. You
Yeah.
ain't got but 12 now.
Yeah.
Some cat in Georgia bought them all. My knuckles have been everywhere. Yeah, maybe. In not of. What pro angler would you pick to fish against in the ultimate match fishing?
Gerald Swindle is, I think, with the GS stood for.
Who would you pick? While he's thinking
I
of it.
don't even know who's in Ultimate Match.
Well, just
Fishing.
any angler. If you could just
Just
ultimate
any
match.
angler,
Any angler.
any angler there is
Any angler there is. Ultimate match
on any
fishing.
bottom of water,
Any-
body of water.
Yeah.
That's,
about-
that's a cool question.
How about
really.
you, Alex?
Oh man, come on.
Huh?
Huh?
Why are you laughing at?
I'm not gonna say that.
Say it.
If I could beat anybody,
Yeah,
there's
if you could.
two. There's two actually.
Who?
One of them is Joseph Gayton.
Oh yeah, local
That dude's
angler.
he's a hammer.
He is
He's
a
good.
hammer.
And DJ.
Okay. Okay, I got you. Why you like grinning ear to ear, like not afraid to say that?
Because I don't want to say that. But
Well, you didn't say you was going to win him. You said if you could.
So
I
mine
could.
would have to probably be KVD in his prime.
Yeah,
I mean, I grew up like that was when I first started like competitive fishing.
yeah,
Was when he was really doing his thing,
right.
and
But he's retired now. So
he is retired.
What about today's anglers?
Patrick Walters
Old Patrick
on Santee,
on Santee. Hey, listen, I totally get that.
and we can throw one bait.
Oh, you only get one bait.
We only get one bait. And
Does he have to throw the same bait you
Yeah.
throw? Crankbait?
No.
No. You're not going to tell me that bait, are you? What about you? Ultimate match fishing. Like, who would you love to just kick their ass?
Emil Wagner on Lanier.
Yeah,
It'll never happen.
That's a good
It's
answer.
gonna be hard.
It'll
Just,
never happen.
It's like beating Patrick on Santee. It's not
Yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to say you did. You know what I mean?
You know who I'd like to beat? I'd like to beat Ike.
I can nail it.
Just so I can do backspins and scream like hell and crazy on my boat and just taunt him like that. I'll taunt you for a second time right there. I would never beat him, but it would be fun. I'd be a little fat guy rolling around the front of the boat. Nolan Adams. Oh, he has plenty of secrets that
That's
will
my
never
brother.
see the light of day. That's your brother?
That's my brother.
That's awesome.
Well, Nolan, he might take him to the grave, but for a small fee, how about you letting us know? I find that there is a price for anything. We can go fund me to try to find that. So, Silver Punk, when you're flipping a lay down, do you work front to back?
Always work front to back.
It's like love making.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm usually if I'm flipping on the
Just
bank,
not wiping.
if I'm flipping
Yeah.
going down the bank, I'm on the bank. So I want to hit the bank side first and work my way around.
Yeah,
So that's usually how I do it.
I got you. So when you wipe, you're back to front?
No, I'm front to back.
You're front to back
Yeah.
and wiping and all that? What about you, Alex?
Oh God.
Front to back when you're wiping?
Yeah, front to back.
Front to back? Okay. I'm not going to ask Barron that question because he's a guest, but I can ask you two guys. He's going to be like, I am not going back on that show ever again. They're asking me how I wipe. It is a very scientific question, though. There's a technique to it.
Yeah.
There's
right
a
there.
cleanliness to it.
It's cleanliness. They got that. Far Dog. I like how tonight. He's starting off every one of his questions with your name. Barron.
I think he likes typing it.
That Strike King Hybrid Hunter and Junior is BAD bad. Also, what kind of frog do you throw?
I like the old Ish Monroe snag proof.
Okay. I like that.
The old school one.
The old school one.
Mhm. That's the best frog in my opinion.
Ever made
Yeah, for fishing grass.
for fishing grass.
And if you're fishing open water, I like the Spro Popper,
Yeah.
the bronze eye shad.
The bronze eye shad.
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it.
That's a good choice right there.
So hang on. You're talking about fishing a bunch of baits that are discontinued and stuff. So back in the day when they were around, were you just buying a ton, or like how are you still fishing a lot of these things?
That's
that
a good
aren't?
question.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of them like stockpiled. A lot of my frogs, like the legs on them have melted
Mhm.
and ruined in the box and stuff. So you gotta pull them out and put new ones in.
Yeah.
And a frog over time will actually shrink. You know, like the plastic gets tighter and harder, and they float different. So I like them older frogs
I
for
got
frog
you.
fishing.
I like
like
that. Danny, drink a gallon of kefir before fishing. No, don't ever do that. You like kefir?
I don't even know what kefir is.
Kefir is like
Don't
it's
feel
like
yucky.
buttermilk. You like buttermilk?
Heck no.
Oh, dude, I can drink a gallon of buttermilk.
Mm,
I love buttermilk. Really?
I'm out on buttermilk.
Well, kefir is like a cross between buttermilk and yogurt. But if you ever stopped up, drink a half gallon of it. You'll thank me later.
Okay.
Just be close to the facilities. That's all I got to tell you. Don't do it before tournament night for sure. You got to seance frogs and flukes, bend those hooks. Yeah, you got to do some stuff. Brad Silvers, what are your favorite heads and swim baits for an A-rig? Now, do you throw an A-rig?
God, I hate the A-rig.
So I guess that
I
question right
agree
there.
with you. I, hate
I
that
liked
area.
it. Of course, everybody liked it when it first come on the scene. But
Yeah.
man, I am so over throwing that thing. Big rod, big
Good
reel, big
Lord, I know
line,
it.
wear you out, throw it all day. But
Yeah.
when I used to throw it, I threw the J-wheel head.
Okay.
That's the one I like the best.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's just my thing, but I like I said, I've not been into the whole A-rig thing and good 6 or 8 years.
Yeah, I like it when you big guys are like, you're talking about how hard it is to throw a big rod on. Be my size and chunk that joker all
wear
day.
you out.
I mean, seriously.
I don't care how big you are, how small, that thing will wear you out.
I mean, it was a bottle of Tylenol when I got home after throwing one of those. Okay, good question here. I think I know the answer to this, but let's see what he says. What is your least favorite technique? The last thing in the world you'll try when all else has failed?
Scoping deep.
Scoping deep.
I hate it. I mean, I love scoping. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I mean, it's fun to go catch one that you can visually watch eat your bait. But to me, it's one of the most frustrating things in fishing to look at a 30 fish sitting in a brush pile and can't get them to bite.
Oh, no doubt. I'd rather not see myself striking out than know that.
I would. And it's changed me fishing offshore brush a lot. I can tell it because, like, before forward-facing sonar, I would run brush piles on Chateau, or Blue Ridge, or not anywhere I was, and I felt like I had the confidence to hit that brush pile, maybe get a bite, cast or two, go.
Right
now, if I pull up and I see them sitting there, like I'm throwing this, I'm throwing that, I'm changing.
Like I'm going to make one of these jokers bite.
One of them's got to bite, and I spend too much time looking instead of just fishing.
Right.
So to me, that's my least favorite technique.
I like that answer. I think that's the first time I've had that answer as a least favorite technique. But again, he's a power guy. He likes to throw a red crankbait.
Yep.
For sure. I'm going to be throwing a red crankbait Saturday. I just like, and if it don't work, I'm going to like, Barron, dude, help me out. Okay, where we at now? John G. Wilson. When would you start throwing topwater?
So it all depends on where you're at. Like, I used to catch fish at Chickamauga in January on topwater. There's certain places that the cold really doesn't affect that you can catch them still on topwater. But like, say,
you over there by the nuke plant with the warm water discharge?
No, we used to catch them back of creek, 45-degree water.
Really?
Fish eating bait, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like you couldn't always get them to bite topwater.
Yeah.
But you could work it real slow and get a bite. Now, at home, you know, post-spawn, of course.
That's when
early spring, late spring, early summer is when it gets really, really good.
Is that when you pull out the gunfish?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not throwing a buzzbait. We know that for sure. Let's see. What's our next one? What pro do you think should have won the Classic but never did?
That's a good question.
Well, he's got intelligent questions tonight.
So Christy got his, didn't he?
Yep. He won at Hartwell in 2019. No, 2019 was Knoxville. That was 2022.
But he did get it.
He did get it.
Yeah, he did get it.
But that was a heartbreak, man.
Yeah.
Back in 20.
I mean, he's had a couple heartbreaks.
Yeah.
But
because they fished that back to back, and didn't he second? Was he second?
You're looking at me like I know.
I don't remember.
So I know this boy's gonna get one eventually, but he's deserving of it. It's Patrick. Like, Patrick deserves a Classic and an Angler of the Year, in my opinion.
Yeah,
100%.
He is one of the best fishermen there is right now, in my opinion.
Most consistent.
Dude's got
when you
gills.
Look at his record, it's
he's got gills. I mean, he's not a normal person when it comes to fishing. And he's gonna get one. I mean, he's probably one of the most deserving that hasn't had one yet.
Yeah, I remember when he was on with Drew and Corbusley and Trent, and then Kimmel was here too. And Trent brought his shield, his NPFL shield. And then Patrick, when he saw it, oh, you like that? And he went back. It was like, I don't know, he had like three or four back there like that. But he is a name that you're absolutely right. That,
he'll get one. He'll eventually get one.
Yeah, he's a damn good angler.
I don't know as far as the older guys like that hadn't got one. Iaconelli probably never did.
I don't think Iaconelli won one. Did he?
Didn't he win like 2004? No.
Yeah, he did.
If he did, okay, so
he did somewhere,
something like that,
on a river reservoir,
Louisiana or Red River. Or...
He might have. I have no clue.
Did Earler ever win?
How about this? Anthony Hampton. I'll get to your question in a second, but some names started popping up. Aaron Martins, Roland Martin.
Yeah, Aaron Martins.
Both of them. So I mean,
Greg
Hackney, was that one that Greg Hackney needs a Classic? Yeah, Hackney. A couple answers said Hackney. So that's 3 or 4 of us. So that's,
Yeah, I didn't even think about Martins, but yes, Martins for sure was definitely deserving of it.
So Alan
Martins, Patrick is like the new Martins.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Aaron Martins is probably one of the smartest, most just loves, eats, breathes fishing
That ever
And
fished.
Patrick was
Yeah.
is too.
Yeah. So Alan, that was on Thursday, he roomed with Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
He had some great stories. You need it when you haven't met him yet, right?
No.
If you meet him at one of the NPFL events, you need to get him to talk about some of those stories, because I was sitting there like things we're not. I mean, it's just a great guy, but he was just like really. So he had some very good stories on that. Your brother's, huh?
Iaconelli won in 2003 on the Louisiana Delta.
Okay. So it's been a hot minute.
Yeah.
Your brother says you won't even tell him your secrets.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the way.
crazy.
Is he your older brother or younger brother?
Younger.
Yeah, that's the way younger brothers are.
always.
Like that.
He's been in the boat with me enough to know some of them.
Oh, I bet he does.
Does he fish a lot too? Does he fish tournaments and stuff, or is that?
No, he don't really fish tournaments, but he does fish a lot. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. You pulling up Far Dog here?
Yeah.
What does he say?
He wants Milliken with no scope.
Oh yeah.
You're calling him out. Okay, so Ben Milliken, my buddy Far Dog from Oklahoma, is calling you out on ultimate match fishing. We can see if we can make that happen. Milliken's a pretty cool guy. I bet he would. And Milliken can do the video.
Yeah, film it.
Film it. And he's be like, "Well, I stomped this guy's butt right here." What would the clickbait title be of that?
I was challenged, got arrested, ran out of gas, and still caught 58 pounds.
Yes, that's about right. That's about right.
No scope.
Exactly. Zach Bryant, where do you throw a deep diver, and what's the best color?
So I throw a deep diver anywhere. Shad pattern usually is my go-to color. Of course, sexy shad color.
Yeah.
And a 6XD.
So you're red shallow, shad deep.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Makes sense right there. Do you ever throw a glide bait, and if so, what kind?
I haven't really got into the glide bait stuff yet, but I do dabble in it some. I throw the Scott Sparrow one.
Gotcha.
The one that he's just made. I throw a Stinky Pete some. Sneaky Pete, whatever it's
I was
called.
going to say, who the hell
It's a
is
sneaky
Pete.
Pete.
Is it a
It's
Stinky Pete?
I do like the Sneaky Pete just because it's kind of a smaller profile, and spots love it at home. But
Did you see Steve Kennedy catching him on it at Smith? And he's like, "Oh, dude, that Sneaky Pete was just so much fun to throw. Did you see how fired up they were behind that?"
I like a Sneaky Pete, and that's what I cashed a check on it and visit the Ozarks.
That's
was a
awesome.
Sneaky Pete.
Really?
It's a good bait.
I like listening. He says, I dabble in them, but I've cashed a check on them like that. So his dabbling and my dabbling are two different things. Anthony, okay, so Far Dog again. How much do you use side scan in practice?
A lot. I like to find rock veins and brush piles with side scan. I mean, not as much as I used to, of course. Now that you got live scope, you can see that stuff just as good. But
right.
This year,
this year you're going to have to go back to it.
We'll be using old school side image a lot.
What brand electronics you use?
Lowrance.
You're a Lowrance guy.
I'm a Lowrance guy.
Okay. All right. There you go. Anthony Hampton, what do you think this warming trend will do to the fish for this weekend? So,
they're going to bite. They should bite.
I was going to say, you guaranteeing it?
No, I'm not guaranteeing it, but
he's like, operator.
Not for you.
Not for me.
At home, they're going to bite, like Chateau,
Yeah.
Blue Ridge, Notley, Burton.
Well, they should be biting on Lanier if they're biting there.
Lanier.
Listen, I just want 5. I just want to go to scale with 5. Just that's all I'm asking for. Aaron Martin had 3 second-place finishes. Is what he thinks right there. So that's awesome. Disagree. You can understand what Patrick is saying. Like, I'm so lost on the comments tonight. I'm sure it was something I said right there.
Never give up.
G-Man's never won a classic.
No.
Yeah. So
Has he ever won a tournament?
I don't know.
He's not. He doesn't have a blue. He's got 2 AOIs, which is way better than a blue.
Yeah, it just means you're consistent year long.
He's a very consistent dude. He's going to cash checks with us.
Well, how about this? Would you would you rather win a classic or an AOI?
AOI.
Didn't Emil say that? Wasn't that his answer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a lot of guys would say
a lot of guys
just
say
because that. In the how you can be that dialed for 9 events and be constantly have that momentum.
And as diverse as the places that you fish, nowadays. I
Mhm.
mean, you've really got to be dialed in to catch them everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And to watch guys like this past year, Justin Hamner, I mean, he was smashing them. He won the
Yeah.
Classic. He was catching 11-7 on fork, like just having a record year, more than you could dream of. And then to get to the St. Lawrence and have a tough tournament
Mhm.
that costs you AOY, like that's
that's
a heartbreaker.
I get what you're saying right
Like,
there.
And our schedule this year, dude, like you win AOY in ours this year because we got to go to Alabama in the September.
Yeah.
That's going to be the backbreaker, I think.
You
for
think so
whoever-
on that?
For whoever's up there, that's going to be one of the deciding tournaments. But I think that's going to be a tough one.
You think Welcher will have a little bit of an advantage?
Yeah, he will there. for
Yeah,
sure.
Welcher will. And he'll probably be, and that's another thing too, is like, I know, a lot of these guys cross fish
Mhm.
and will, the NPFL's had guys that have been doing that for several years, doing
Yeah,
that.
and that's I mean, fishing is a lot of momentum,
Mm-hmm.
and them fishing 15 tournaments a year helps them.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of traveling. Dude.
Oh,
like
no
I
doubt.
was looking at their schedule compared to ours. Like first of the year, they're going to Florida, coming back to Santee, going to Texas 2 or 3 times. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot to handle to be able to stay on top of your game in both.
it's a lot of
circuits,
different fishing too. I
A
feel
lot
like.
of different fishing. But I mean, like when they get to Santee, they should be really dialed in on that style of fishing
Yeah.
because they're going to Florida for 2 weeks before they come there. So
Right.
it's going to help them at a few places.
Yeah.
But then, I think there's one swing where they're in Texas and then they got to come back to,
They go to Hartwell in April too.
yeah. So, I mean, they're going to Texas and then they got to come back and fish with us, maybe at Norman or something.
You got to love what you're doing.
Yeah.
You
dude,
got
that's
to
a
love what
lot.
you're doing to do that for sure. Scroll on up. There was a couple of questions that just got off the top. When struggling, what keeps your focus in the moment? Now, you mentioned
So,
confidence earlier.
Confidence is the biggest thing you
Yeah.
got to have when you're fishing, anywhere you're fishing, any time of the year. I mean, you've got to be confident in what you're doing. I mean, you can struggle. You can have the best practice. I've had the best practices I've ever had and then struggle worse in the tournament than if I don't have a good practice.
Right.
So, I mean, you've got to be confident in what you're doing, but you can struggle any time of the year
Oh,
on
yeah.
any lake.
I
You can
agree
just
with
fish
that.
bad. Like, there's been last year at Santee. So, like, I had a great practice and a bad tournament. I had some unfortunate losses. Like I lost 2 big fish on day 2 that would have made big difference. Like you're looking at having a chance to win or being in the top 2 or 3.
Right.
But, you have to stay focused even though that stuff happens.
Yeah, I get that. During the spawn, do you use the crazy Cinco colors like bubble gum and methylate?
No, I sure don't.
Mirth.
I am.
Methylate.
Mirth. That's
Mirth.
how he spelled it.
Mirth. How about the night before a tournament? Do you sleep well?
Yeah.
God, I can't.
I'm over that stuff. Like it don't bother me.
Dude,
no
I'm
more.
52 years old and I fish like a local electric club, and I'm still like
I
4
can't-
o'clock.
I can't sleep. at
I'm
all.
always afraid I'm going to wake up late.
See, I'm never worried about that. I just can't stop. I can't turn the brain off. I'm like, where am I going to go? What am I
Yeah.
going to do? Blah, blah, blah. Like it's all just so after you said it's taken some time to get you there. Like, what's a tip for somebody like me who's like up all night thinking about it, like just fired up,
Dude, like it's hard to turn that off. I
Yeah.
mean, like if I'm not saying that I sleep great before a tournament. So if I go to sleep and wake up in the middle of the night and fishing's on my mind, it's over. Like,
Yeah,
I'm done.
yeah.
And I do that when we go fish just a Saturday tournament.
Right.
A lot of times I wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock and think about what I'm going to do, and you can't go back to sleep. It's hard to turn that off.
Right.
But the more you're in the stressful situations of fishing a bigger tournament, the better you are of controlling yourself to be able to control your emotions, to be able to sleep, to get the rest you need. Because I mean, you can't, like, we go practice for 3 days and you're out there from daylight till dark. Then you go have fished the tournament for 3 days.
Yeah.
And even though you're off the water early on those tournament days, you're rigging as soon as you're done. You're never really going to getting a great night's sleep. So you've got to be able to turn that off to where you can to be able to handle it. You know?
Yeah.
What is
It's
a
hard
night?
to do.
What does a night before the first day of a tournament look like for you? Like around what? Like when do you typically get off the water? Are you going to bed early? Like, do you have stuff dialed in, or is it kind of all over the place?
So a lot of times we have an off day. between the last day of practice and the first day of tournament, which
Mhm.
I
That's your
enjoy.
service day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy that
Mhm.
because it does give you time to be able to get your tackle ready, to rest, to eat, to hydrate. I mean,
Yeah.
hydration's a big thing when you're
Mhm.
going fishing. I
For
mean, like
sure.
I've never really thought about it, but my wife stays on me constantly about hydration, and it helps you, like
100%.
making sure that you're eating right, like eating breakfast, eating lunch, even though you're on the water.
And everything
take
you're
the time
eating
to
and
do it.
drinking the days leading up to the tournament, I
Yeah.
feel like affect that tournament.
That's why I
time.
suck.
So
It's my
sometimes
diet.
we don't have an off day.
Yeah.
And like I'm the guy that I want to be the first one there and the last one to leave. Like I'm putting in the time. So if we don't have an off day, it's 10, 11. In the summer months, it might be midnight for you to get to lay down because you've got to get everything ready. I mean, you can't go in the morning of the tournament and try to rig 10 rods. You know, if you're, if
for
you're
sure.
using 10 rods, like you want to do it the night before. So that's a big thing you've got to juggle, like to learn how to be able to control your what you eat, what you intake, and how you control your sleep and all that stuff. Like
Yeah.
you've got to learn how to do that.
That makes sense. I just popped my next day Adderall about 2 a.m. Huh? No, I'm serious, dude. That's like, seriously. Like, hell, I'm going to take it at 7 a.m. anyway, so I'll just go ahead and take it about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm good to go.
Power through.
Power right through it, you know, with pharmaceuticals. They're legal. I got a prescription. Christopher Brown. You ever fish Carter's Lake? And if so, how do you fish shallow there? That's a good question because
That's a
that's
very
It's a
good
hard
question.
lake to
That's
fish shallow.
That's a hard lake to even find any shallow water. So
Yeah.
when I grew up, we went to Carter's religiously. Like I know that place like the back of my hand, but I haven't spent a lot of time there lately. And a jerkbait's how I usually fish that lake if I'm fishing relatively shallow.
Yeah.
Which you can throw a jerkbait however deep you want to set in the water, but
Right.
you're fishing the upper water column usually
Exactly,
with a jerkbait.
yeah.
So that's a good lure, good bait for that lake. I mean, they like it there.
That makes sense right there. Because, I mean, you're going down, what, max 14?
Yeah.
If you get it down there. And that's still on Carter's. That is the upper water column there.
Mhm.
I've never been on a lake where you're like 10 foot off the bank and you're sitting in.
It's wild. I went there
It's
for the
crazy.
first time like a month ago, and
Dude,
it's a wild
It's
place.
super deep.
It's cool though.
And what's crazy about that, like Carter's, they have that dam where they pump water back and forth.
Yes.
So you might be down there one day, it's 10 foot low, and go back the next day, it's up in the parking lot.
That's
it's like,
crazy.
wow, what happened? But that makes that place, those fish live deeper there. you
Yeah.
know?
That and the alewives.
Yeah.
Or however you say it.
And also that place too, don't get as cold. The water don't. If you ever notice, like that place, and no matter how cold it is, the water to get below 50 degrees there, it's got to be bad cold for a long time because they move so much water back and forth. I think it keeps everything.
I never thought about that.
Turn
When I was
up.
there, it was like 47, and it was 19 degrees. that
Yeah, I
morning.
mean
So,
that's
still-
cold
yeah.
for that place.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to Blue Ridge or something, it froze over at
Yeah.
the same time. That place is still in the.
I never thought
40s.
about that.
Mhm.
That makes sense. In and out of, he actually is coming down here. And we're going to try to get in the boat together because he fishes electric only up in Maryland. So if it works out when we get on the boat later this month, I'll show you a secret that you have to take to your grave. Partner, I'm the last person you want to tell a secret to when it comes about fishing. My job is to tell all the secrets I know. I mean, I own a tackle shop. I got to do that, but we'll see. We'll see. Depends on how juicy it is. He also says, I throw a Berkeley 100% fluoro thinking about switching to Sunline FC Sniper. What line do you like? I love FC Sniper.
Do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really used FC Sniper. I just switched over to using Berkeley 100% fluorocarbon on my leaders. And
Yeah.
I really like it.
Do you really?
I think it's got a pretty good abrasion resistance. But usually I'm throwing a Seeger. I
Yeah.
like the Invis X.
Yeah. Let's see. Far Dog, my last question. He probably asked it like 30 minutes ago. I hope you're still awake. What do you think of the new MLF format? To me, every tournament will be like this first one. We touched on that a little bit when you and I were talking before the show.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm all about the technology, and I'm all for just fishing. So
Yeah.
I think it's pretty neat what they're doing. Will it last forever? I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I mean, it's all about viewership.
Yeah,
It's all about
It
whatever.
was-
they're-
I will say it was the first MLF tournament I've watched in probably 4 years.
And I will tell you this too: we watched it on the way home from Santee, and it's probably the best one I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
That's the first one I've watched since I left them,
Mhm.
and it's the best one I've seen in a long time.
I thought it was interesting. I heard Drew Gill was talking about it on BTL, and of course everybody had their eyes on him because they're like, "Oh, this scoper going to catch him?" And of course, yeah, he caught him. But he was talking about the laser focus when you're only given 2.5 hours to scope. He was talking about how focused and dialed you had to be. He's like, that's what separated the guys that can catch them with scope in 8 hours versus the guys that can catch them with scope in 2.5. He was just talking about like the difference between the efficiency that you have to be absolutely dialed and not missing a fish and not like making the bad cast and how dialed you had to be. He said it made the super scopers is what he was talking about, like that much better because they were that much more focused and dialed when it came to that time.
Yeah, and I think over the course of the season, you'll see that play out more because of, the younger guys, of course, that are so good at it during that time period and that whatever period they pick, they're going to catch them because they're so dialed in with that thing and they're so used to catching them that way.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the guys, the older ones that that are not great with it, can do it, don't want to do it, so they're going to struggle that period. So that's going to be a lot of the scopers catch-up time, and I think you'll see that play out all year.
It could very well be. Jerry Catula wants to know, do you use any scents like bait fuel?
No. Nope, I'll dip my tail some, but I'm not really never been into the bait fuel stuff. I tried it and just once again, I think it's more of a confidence thing. You can put anything in the world on it, and if you don't have confidence in it, you more than likely you're gonna catch them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Danny, do you fish electric only with Tony Christian?
No.
No.
Tony Christian's the guy that.
Oh, that's the cheating guy, right?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and apparently it went out that he won some electric only tournament not too long ago.
I think
or AOI
I think I saw that in the comments the other night. Anchor. I've never heard of that.
Anchor
club.
Bay.
It's south of here, so no. And I'll be honest with you, never had an issue with anybody cheating in any of the clubs that I run. They're, that's one thing you got. They're great guys and all that, and I trust them all. So I do not. Bike Club. Tim McGuire says, "Hey, I hear you. Glad you're watching tonight. You sitting in a patrol car." He is. He's probably sitting there in the parking lot. I'm about to run 2 72-volt rays on my boat. Good grief. I wish I had your money. What's your PB and how did you catch it?
PB is 11-pounder caught off the bed at the Harris chain
Uh-huh.
on wacky worm.
I love it.
That's
Best answer of the night right there.
Did it give you just a run for your money?
Not really.
No?
No,
Just kinda
not really.
turned
Not
up?
It fought and jumped and stuff, but it wasn't really like what you would picture 11-pounder.
Yeah.
I've caught a lot of 10 plus at Chickamauga, but they fought way more than that 11-pounder.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've not broken double digits.
In 1 year, I caught 5 over 10 at Chick.
That's awesome.
Heck yeah, they're in there.
Those giants in there.
How many drum did you go through though to catch those 10?
Well, I caught those on a speed worm, so.
No, good Lord. And drum are everywhere. Let's pull up in, not of, Alex. I like it when a viewer does this. I want to take a minute to thank the guy behind the scenes, putting all that comes up and staying on track. Good job, man. Good job, Alex. There you go. And here's the thing about 2 months ago. How long you been doing it now?
Since like October.
Oh, hell, has it been that long?
Yeah, because
Well,
we did
you
the
know
Halloween
me and the
show,
way my
baby.
brain thinks.
We did the Halloween show. I dressed up as Joe Dirt.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. He was Joe Dirt. And you are damn fine Joe Dirt.
I was.
You do a good job. I appreciate all. Listen, the guys that I have surrounding me on this show, both Tuesday and Thursday nights, you can't get any better. They're awesome. And so, Barron, when you come up to Oklahoma, we'll get with you.
All right.
Yeah, and he'll have some Michelob Ultra Peaches for you right there. Yeah, I don't know about that. T-Toms. I have not seen that name before, so appreciate you joining us. If you're bank fishing, you have one spinning rod and one casting rod. Do you run a dedicated technique setup or swap out bait styles regularly? It's like you got 2 rods. I'm going to say you're going to throw a crankbait.
I don't know. If I'm bank fishing, like a wacky worm on a spinning rod would be hard to beat. A wacky worm generates bites.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always, And then, certain time of year, maybe a topwater or something on your bait caster,
Yeah.
popping style topwater.
People laugh at me when I say throwing a wacky worm, but to me it does. I think I probably have more confidence in it than anything.
It's a bite getting.
It is a bite.
It's a bite getter.
You might not always win your tournament on that,
No.
but you will get bites, or you
And
should.
you will catch big ones on.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll catch some
Ask
big
John
ones.
Cox how many
Yeah,
checks he's cashed on
I
the
wonder
wacky
how many
worm.
he has. Just if you could say, all right, John, how much money you won on a wacky worm?
I can't imagine.
I bet it's a ton, and that's not even counting his
The general, baby.
You like the general?
I never thrown it.
Okay, is that what he throws?
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm still on a Yamamoto.
I am too. I mean, I can't get away from it.
Tim says some of my biggest fish have been on a wacky. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So like I'm not full of it all the time. Going back to Carter's. Oh, we got a Carter's guy. He's gonna pry your brain right here. What surface temp would you expect the shad will begin to spawn?
I mean, it should be in low 70s. I mean, that's basically typically shad spawn anywhere in the country.
Yeah. So when you start getting excited about that, when you see 65, kind of.
Well, you want
getting up
those
there.
warmer nights, where water in the 70s, when it's not getting cold enough for it to get below 70s, and you start seeing shad
Mhm.
swimming around in the evenings.
Yeah,
It's fixing to happen.
fixing to happen.
See them on docks. You see big schools of shad around docks and things like that.
Oh yeah.
Water's in the 70s. It's fixing to happen. Which Carter's, you got no docks, but they'll be on them trees or something, low down, something like that. They'll use something to spawn on.
Is that place really as dark at night as they say it is?
Oh yeah.
See, I've
And
not
it's
fished it.
bad foggy sometimes too.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that's like the darkest lake in Georgia when it like no moon.
I fished dark to dark. I mean, I've only been out there literally one day, but it was dark when I got off the lake.
Well, there's no houses and no light.
Yeah,
of
there's
any
nothing.
kind. And it's kind of sets in off in a dungeon, really.
Yeah. I drove over Lanier the other night, and I was just noticing how dark it was up off 53, even with a few lights in the distance. And I'm like, I can't imagine Carter's. Alex, you still fishing Juliet this Saturday?
I'm planning on it. Yeah.
You're
Should be
planning
there.
on it? Okay, there you go. Danny, what's your wacky worm go-to color? If I'm fishing for largemouth, I like a green pumpkin amber bottom that Yamamoto throws. I don't know what they call it exactly. And then if I'm fishing for spots, it's that old monster shad, which it's a number on the pack. It's like number 297 with chartreuse. It's a little translucent, got the goldish flake and everything, but it's not a dark green on it. It's very light.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the best. And if you message me, I'll look it up and I can tell you the exact number. But I think on Lanier, that is with spots, that is the best color out there, especially skipping under docks and all that. I think spots they'll hit everything. You can throw a green pumpkin and they'll hit it.
Mm-hmm.
But just with me, I think the spots really slam a shad pattern wacky worm going down. I think largemouth. I don't think I've ever caught but maybe 2 largemouth on that color on Lanier. But will they hit it? Yes. So that's mine. But you can't go wrong with a green pumpkin. What is this? Have you tried a drop shot wacky worm? I have, and I've never caught a fish on it.
I have to.
Did you have any success with that?
Not really.
No, I never have like that.
I mean, I have better luck just nail weighting it if I'm gonna fish it deep.
I agree with you on that for sure, 100%. In not of you emailed me and not sure if I saw it. No, I didn't, but I'll check it after the show. Should forward facing and bed fishing be banned in the NPFL? I'm gonna tell you, 99.9% of anglers will say the bed fishing shouldn't be bad.
No, I mean,
How do you regulate that?
you can't regulate that. And then also, you have a lot of people on this bed fishing thing. So if you don't want to bed fish, you might as well park your boat from April to June.
If you're tournament fishing,
If
for
you're
sure,
a tournament fisherman,
yeah.
I mean, just because you ain't looking at that fish, most spots you don't see bed.
Spotted bass, you don't. They're deep.
But you go throw on a point at Lanier in April, more than likely that fish is on the bed.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can't just ban bed fishing.
It's like saying you're going to go to the bar only if everyone's married.
Yeah, I mean,
You're not.
Yeah, who does that?
No, like
I do. Yeah.
But it's like you're not gonna just go into the bar and be like, oh no, I ain't gonna get a drink here because everyone's married.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I got you.
you're not gonna do that.
And the forward facing thing, they banned it. So
they banned it, so it is done. I do agree with you. A lot of people think that they're just casting on a point.
Right. They
and
think
they
they're not
spots.
catching bedfish.
And the thing about a spot is it ain't so much like a largemouth that pins to the bed. If you throw in a general area of a bedded spotted bass, they just pissed off fish. They're going to hit it. And you think it was just they're there.
Yeah, or you go anywhere and you catch a largemouth shallow that you didn't see.
Yeah.
In May, most of the time that fish is on the bed.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Even though you just kind of
or it might be garden fry. Should you ban garden fry fish too?
Yeah.
I mean, there's got to be a point where you have to say we're just fishing. We're just
right.
We're having fun. We're doing what we love, and you can't ban everything.
Yeah, I can see the point in that too. T-Toms, new to the channel, love what y'all are doing, so I had to subscribe. Well, first of all, thank you very much. I mainly roam the banks of Lanier with my 2 rods, going into my 3rd season of bass fishing, previously catfish and saltwater. I will say this, Lanier is a good one that you can catch a lot of fish from the bank on Lanier if you got access to the places.
Lanier's a good place to learn to fish.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why, we got a couple of elites and a lot of good young. I think all the North
Georgia lakes
yes.
are good breeding grounds for good fishermen because they're so diverse.
I agree with you.
You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want to do to catch fish. You can go target just largemouth, and you can just catch largemouth on a lot of places up here.
Yeah.
Now Lanier, of course, and Hartwell and places, you'll catch them out roaming with the spots. Yeah, just as good as you can on the bank certain times of the year.
Right.
But it's a good place to learn how to fish for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna get bites.
Yeah, for sure. T-Toms, if I could ever help you, just shoot me a messenger on Facebook, Danny Pruitt. Let's see. We're getting close to the end here. Let me see. He was saying not saying it should. He was just asking for opinions. So I don't think bed fishing you should ban on the elite levels and all that, because you guys are like super crazy with your fish care and everything. Most you guys have got it.
We have to take care of them. If not, we're penalized.
Yeah.
I mean, and
that could cost you guys a lot of money.
Thousands of dollars. A quarter pound costs you thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's
see. Do you ever fish in New York?
Oh yeah. It's probably one of my favorite places to go. Anywhere in New York.
Really?
I love it up there. You just get bit.
I heard like everybody says that about hunting and all that too in New York and everything. Once you get out of New York City itself, you get out. It's just as country as anything.
Beautiful. Like upstate New York, like Champlain area and all that.
Oh,
man, that place is beautiful.
Right. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. I don't see any more new questions. So we're hour 57, close to 2 hours in. So I'm gonna. I like Doc Holliday's. Caught a rainbow trout from the bank on Lanier when I was 12, 63 years ago. Wow. They used to have a lot of trout in there. Did you know that?
I wish they had more.
The stripers just totally annihilated.
The lake was pretty fresh 63 years ago.
It was 63 years ago. Like that lake had just been flooded. So yeah, I get that. So Doc, appreciate you watching. Last question. Do you prefer tidal or non-tidal fisheries?
I don't fish a lot of tidal water, so I'd have to say non-tidal. But when we go to tidal, if you learn the tides, it's some of the most fun fishing you'll do.
Is it really?
Yeah, because you can catch them super, super shallow.
Yeah.
And they bite when it's the right tide,
Right, when you get the right one.
It's like James River. Man, James River is probably by far one of my favorite places I've ever been to.
I've heard that from several people. All right, so with that, we're going to cut off the questions and all that. So I'm not – okay, Danny, I'm done. Thanks.
I like how Farmer just tuned in 2 minutes
What's up,
ago.
man? He just got the kids to bed. So David Weaver says, great show. Love the guests and the great juice that we get to hear. And you threw out a lot tonight, so I appreciate you doing it. But, Barron, thank you seriously for coming up and being on the show. And I always tell everybody, too, that once we get a guest in, get to know them, now we got somebody else to root for when we watch these tournaments. So definitely
I appreciate that.
Best wishes on the NPFL this year. And, Kevin left some chicken grease in that chair for you. Right? That's why he's been sliding down and all that.
Yeah, no.
But
slick.
Hope you'll come back.
Oh yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
down there.
I enjoyed it.
Well,
Had
good.
a great time.
You were absolutely fantastic guest. And Alex, of course, you did do a great job. And Clint has always been the wingman over here. Can't do the show without you guys, the guests, and you guys in the comment section. Y'all drive the show. And tonight you drove like a mother is all I can say. It was very easy for me. So appreciate that. I hope you guys took something from Barron, and go follow the NPFL this year and watch them and keep up with them. And now we got somebody else to root for. So got another show coming on Thursday night. You guys join us then. I'll put out details on it tomorrow at some point. And we look forward to talking to you then. If we don't see you and you get out on the water this weekend, I hope you do well, and I hope I catch some fish. Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you on the next one.